Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
Rakuten is the smartest way to save money when you shop because you earn cash back at over 3,500 stores. Fashion, beauty, electronics, home essentials, travel, dining, concert tickets, and more. Your favorite stores like Lowe's, Levi's, and Nike pay Rakuten to send them shoppers. And Rakuten then passes on a part of that payment to its members as cash back. You're already shopping at your favorite stores. Why not save while you're doing it? It's a no-brainer. Membership is free and easy to sign up. Get the Rakuten app now and join the 17 million members who are already saving. Cashback rates change daily. See Rakuten.com for details. That's Rakuten. Your cashback really adds up.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Everybody, and welcome back to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you for joining us so much on a special. This is a holiday, a Christmas edition. Let's see here.
Sure is.
If you're listening to this right when it comes out, it's Christmas night. So Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And we are going to bring you a horrible person and imagine him in a Santa hat. There you go. Now it's festive. Now it's all festive-like. Yeah, all gift-wrapped here for you. So thank you so much for joining us. We definitely have a crazy show for you this week. And next week, the show, we're going to do something a little different. We're just going to release the Scummies. That's what we're going to do.
There you go.
Next week will be the Scummy Awards to kick off. That way it'll come out like New Year's Day, basically. So start it off clean with the Scummy Awards. Who will be...
Started off so dirty.
So dirty. Who will be Scumbag of the Year? Who will win? It's a black tie affair. I got my... Did you get your tuxedo cleaned for it?
Oh, I picked out a nice one.
All right, good. That's nice.
You'll like it.
I just got mine dry cleaned. I didn't get a new one. We're going to do that as picked by our esteemed panel of judges, Frankie, Benny, and Oscar, my three dogs, at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be an absolute fun time because we're covering like almost 2 years of Crime and Sports because we missed one. So it's a lot there. We'll get into all that. You certainly also want to head to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Oh, yeah.
That's where you get everything. That's all the stuff there, well, especially tickets for live shows for Small Town Murder. 2024 dates announced. There's 12 dates, so get those tickets fast because we're not doing a ton of shows, so they're going to go pretty quick there. So get in there.
They're only at our website.
They're only, no third-party sites don't do that because there's people that are really trying to make a couple of bucks off of this, and it's pretty gross.
Unbelievable.
So don't help them
make
do
them
that.
Come to the show.
Make them either eat the tickets or come to the show. I don't care. I don't want anybody paying that kind of crazy money to see us. That's too much pressure. It's
unbelievable.
One thing, you plunk down $35, that's fine. You $300-something. I'm sorry.
What?
I feel like I have to do a drum solo or something for that kind of money. We got to get musical instruments and like paint a picture. There's a lot of shit. Just telling jokes isn't enough for that kind of money. Yeah. Any comic who charges that's a... Wow.
That's absurd.
I don't know what they're going to do for you, but it better be they're going to babysit your kids next week or some shit. It's a lot.
They're give you the roadmap of how to also sell $300 tickets.
Yeah, that would be the thing. Take me with you. Other than that, though, definitely also patreon.com/crimeinsports is where you get all the bonus material.
Oh, boy.
Tons of stuff there. A couple of 100 back bonus episodes to listen to that you get immediately upon subscribing. And you get new ones every other week. Normally it's one Crime and Sports, one Small Town Murder every other week. This week, because it's Christmas, we're going to hang out with our families, and we're only going to do one bonus episode.
One thing,
And it covers all sorts of weird stuff here. It's on the garden. The garden. That's what it's called. I keep messing it up. I want to call it
the garden.
I want to call it the secret garden or the hidden garden. So every time I go to say it, I say, and it's just the garden. And it's
a garden, yeah.
It's a quote-unquote commune where you mix, like, back to the earth hippies with, like, survivalist militia people. And they're in the same group. And it's really weird. And it might be a cult, and we'll talk all about it. It's strange stuff. Get in there.
Moon children and people that make fun of moon children all living in the same place.
And people making explosives in their living room for no reason, just in case. They're hanging out together, having like councils. It's really weird. So we'll talk all about that. Patreon.com/crimeinsports. And Jimmie will give you a shout out at the end of the show. We'll read it off, and he'll mispronounce your name, though, horribly. So that said, let's do this. Let's get on with our merry Crime and Sports episode here. Let's talk about he just back when he was a little elf here. We'll talk about Lewis Kenneth Billups Jr. Of course. What is the fucking juniors? It's every week now with the juniors.
It's Kenny Billups?
No, Lewis Billups, not Kenny.
Yeah.
Lewis Billups.
His middle name's Kenneth.
Yeah, Kenneth. Yeah, Lewis Billups. Yeah. He was in the Bengals in the early 90s.
Oh.
Defensive player. Who's good, actually, too.
Is he Chauncey's cousin or some shit?
No, he is not. He has a brother. He's Terry's brother.
Oh, okay.
Terry is Terry is another NFL player who's his brother. So let's talk about Lewis Billups here, Jr. Right. He was born October 10th, 1963 in Tampa. And not a huge guy, 5'11", 190 when he's full grown and everything. He's a defensive back, so
safety
doesn't need to be the biggest guy in the world. But
cornerback or safety?
I believe he was he went both ways. I think here, corner when he's doing well, but then he got burned a lot, and sometimes they put him at safety.
Oh, that's a daisy.
Yeah, we'll talk about one of his nicknames is based on that.
Oh,
his mother's name is Wadie, Wadie, Wadie.
Really?
I don't know what that's short for. Father, of course, Lewis Billups Sr. He's got 3 sisters and a brother named Terry. And Terry, like we'll talk about here, Terry's a defensive back also. Here, he was born in 1975, so he's a lot younger than Lewis here. He played for the Patriots, Cowboys, and then he played in the World Football League and played for all that kind of shit. Oh, I think he was in the XFL too, Los Angeles Extreme.
Jesus.
He was on the Extreme, guys, with touchdown Tommy Maddox there.
Damn it.
So Terry here didn't do too much of the NFL, but later on, Terry will be the complete opposite of Lewis because when he's all done with football, he ends up opening his own law firm in 2019.
What?
So this is absolutely not. You couldn't get more opposite brothers than Lewis and Terry Billups, put it that way, in every aspect.
What kind of law firm? Is he defending or is he suing?
It doesn't matter. He's got a law degree.
Yeah, he knows the law.
Yeah, he's got a job is what he's got, which is more than we can say for a lot of our guys who retire and then float around. And I mean, Luther Wright last week, that poor guy, limping around on 5 toes for Christ's sake, being 7'2". This guy's starting law firms. So on to Lewis. His father says of Lewis, this is Lewis Sr., says, quote, he was born at MacDill Air Force Base in Tampa. His brother was born in his brother was born in Germany. So that's interesting, because I guess his dad's in the Air Force here.
Dusseldorf.
I
don't know what it's called.
I think he was born in, where the hell was Terry born? Terry was born in Wiesbaden.
What is that?
No fucking idea, but that's where he's born, or Wiesbaden, whatever the hell it is. I don't speak German, so. Anyway, his dad said he went to several elementary schools in Orlando, including Callahan, Durance, and Richmond Heights. Was a Florida judo champion at age 9 in Jacksonville.
Really?
At 9. He's the best judo. He's the biggest ass-kicking 4th grader going. No tougher 4th grader in the greater Jacksonville area.
Yeah, he won the Bully Award.
Wow, imagine that. Yeah, that's a badass little 9-year-old. He's tiny,
That's a frightening kid.
Yeah, it's not like he's a giant kid. He's just this tiny little kid who can whoop your ass. And he went to high school in Niceville, his dad said. So his dad said he retired from the Air Force after serving 2 tours of duty. And then he ended up coming to Central Florida to raise Terry. He wanted Terry to have a stable, non-moving around environment, basically.
Good point, yeah.
That's nice here. Now, Lewis here went to, like I said, a couple different schools, and he apparently went both ways as well. And
playing wide out too?
No, he liked guys and women. Oh. No, he played offense and defense. No, he was just super, just a very, very fluid sexually. That's all it was.
And it was fine.
It was fine.
He was a judo champ.
No one cared. Yeah, any shit you want to talk, he was like, "Let's go, motherfucker," and he'd choke you out. So that's how that worked, or not choke you out, but kick you and I don't know what the fuck
break some bones.
Yeah, push you in a certain way, judo, I guess. Use your weight against you in some fashion.
I will shove you in a way that gains points.
I will use your own force against you. Oh man. So yeah, does well though altogether. Basically, he's a damn fine player here. October 7th, 1981, when he's playing for Niceville. They're talking about how he was a defensive halfback the year before. He's 165 pounds at this point, and he was converted to wide receiver to replace an injured guy. And the coach said, "We went to Lewis Billups this spring and told him we wanted to make him a wide receiver this year. Rogers was a very good receiver, but Lewis gives us a dimension Leonard didn't. Speed. He's fast. He's got NFL fucking speed. I mean, Lewis has much more speed than Rogers, and he's a game breaker." They said Billups made an off-balance catch in a game against some other high school, I don't know, and regained his balance and then sprinted for a 34-yard touchdown. And
awesome.
In the same game, he had a 62-yard interception return for a touchdown.
Oh, a little pick six.
Yeah, he's just dangerous as fuck. Yeah. He's dangerous as fuck. And in this article, because this is from the Pensacola News from October 7th, 1981.
So that's real.
You know it's real, and you know it's also real because right below it there's an ad with Burt Reynolds pointing right at you.
Oh,
picture of him, and it says, "He wants you," all caps, "to have his baby."
What?
Burt Reynolds wants to impregnate you, everybody. He's coming for you.
What is this?
He's got a handful of sperm, and he's ready to give it to you.
Well, I'm interested. Let's hear it.
It says Paternity is the movie, a Paramount motion picture, and this is the showing times. It's an ad for his movie, which I've never heard of that movie from.
What is it called?
Paternity.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. I didn't know that one. It's
Are you sure it's not Tom Selleck?
I'm positive. It's giant letters, Burt Reynolds. You can't miss his smirk. Hey, I'm going to put a baby in you there. How's that? Good? What do you say there? What do you say about a baby in you?
Tom Selleck is just a little more dad guy than Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he was just like next generation Burt Reynolds.
Yeah, he was the dad Burt Reynolds, where Burt Reynolds was Uncle Tom Selleck.
Yeah, but like in the 80s, though, Tom Selleck wasn't dad then. Tom Selleck was every woman wanted to fuck him, Tom. Now he's 40 years later, he's some old fart in whatever. But back then, he was hot shit.
In a sweater.
Yeah, and in the 80s, what's his name here? Fucking Burt Reynolds was in the, he was kind of in the
sex.
Uncle Burt kind of thing. But in the 60s and 70s, he was hot shit. He was a college football star and an actor.
Yeah.
He was all handsome and shit.
His
and
chest out.
Yeah,
Fuck.
And he wanted you to have his baby. So
wanted you to.
It's doing great. So November 11th, 1981, Pensacola News loves Billups here. Mm-hmm. They said, "Then comes Lewis Billups of Niceville, which was idle this past weekend with 22 receptions for 406 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he's doing well, they're saying.
Yeah.
1982 to 85 here. He plays in a small school, so it's hard to get defensive stats for these small schools. So instead, he went to Northern Alabama University.
Oh.
They won the Gulf Coast Conference Championship in 83 and 85 and went and competed for the Division II championship at the Palm Bowl, that's a big one, the Palm Bowl in McAllen, Texas in 1985.
Where the trophy is just a big fat cat.
It's a lot. It's dead. You
still
gotta
wriggling.
Cook it. You better cook it
still
fast.
Wriggling.
Yeah, it's not on ice or anything. So
it's not dead yet.
You better
just wiggling in an igloo.
Somebody better gut this thing now. Is what I'm saying.
It's in an igloo cooler without ice.
You just hear pump, pump, pump. What's going on in there? We just pulled it out. We just pulled out the trophy. Just done got it.
You a winner.
That's right. Oh, noodled you up good. So 1986 NFL draft comes around here.
Oh.
Number one pick of the 1986 NFL draft, Jimmie Whisman.
Yeah, that is Eric Dickerson.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Eric Dickerson's 83.
I was close. Shit.
Yeah.
Raghib Ishmael.
That is like 92. Yeah.
Boomer Esiason.
In the middle. That's 85 or 84.
Oh,
That's
I'm
close.
getting close.
84.
Shit.
He was a second rounder, though, in 84. Bo Jackson, number one.
Wow,
now,
what
that
a
sounds
deal.
weird because he didn't play from this draft. Tampa drafted him number one.
Oh, and he didn't want anything to do with it.
They were the ones, they told him it was okay to take a visit. It wasn't against the NCAA rules to take a visit down there. And then he got back and he wasn't allowed to play baseball anymore because of it.
Motherfuckers!
So he hated Tampa after that and said, you could offer me all the money in the world. I'm not playing for you. Go fuck yourself. And they still drafted him number one. He just didn't play. He just, fuck you. And then Al Davis picked him in the late rounds the next year, just taking a chance. And he played.
And he said, sure, I'll do it.
Why not? Number 2 overall, Tony Casillas, the defensive tackle for a long time for Atlanta. Number 3 overall, Chris Everett here, to Houston, which I don't ever remember him playing for Houston. They must have got rid of him pretty quick because he was on L.A.
I thought he went to the Rams right out of the gate.
I thought so, too. And then, Jesus, the rest of the draft here, 86 doesn't look like the best year. I'm looking around. I'm like, this first round is pretty – and Neil Anderson, decent running back. But
since you mentioned it, the Titans wore the Oilers jersey this past weekend. Dude, that is
great. It's the best
fucking
jersey.
Coolest. God damn it, it's
helmet
rad.
jersey pant combo is fucking beautiful. It's some of the best jerseys ever.
They accented it with like red socks or red gloves or something. Dude, it fucking bangs.
They pop like a motherfucker.
It slaps so hard.
It's so good.
That's the coolest fucking jersey. And I was like, oh, so many people have no fucking idea what this is right now. This is badass.
Oh, my God. I have a Earl Campbell like that. Fucking beautiful.
So bitchin'. Yeah.
God damn it. I love those old Oilers uniforms in general. They're so good. So, I'm looking at this Keith Byers. Not a real great draft here. Second round, though. Here we go. Pick number 38, Cincinnati picks Lewis Billups from North Alabama.
No kidding.
Not bad at all, honestly. Yeah, not too shabby. Later
there
on,
is a benefit sometimes these guys get that the draft is just void of anything really fucking great, and you can get a guy that's decent and then you got a chance to shine. That's so great.
Yeah, this is a kind of a bottom. I'm like looking at the top, and outside of Bo Jackson, who didn't play, Tony Casillas, great player. I think he's a fucking Hall of Famer, possibly.
I think so too.
Jim Everett's he was okay, but I mean, otherwise there aren't a lot of big giant stars till later on in the draft. Like second round, you get some decent guys here. Even like Dalton Hilliard's a decent running back, and Webster Slaughter, guys like that. And then you get Tom Rathman, the San Francisco fullback, in the third round. Bubby Brister in the third round that year.
Yikes.
Barry Word was a good run. Pat Swilling, great linebacker for New Orleans in the third round. Not bad at all. Tim Harris, you got in the fourth round. The Green Bay, he was fucking nasty. Charles Haley, fourth round that year. Hall of Famer. Pulling Hall of Famers out of the fourth round. So if you took all the good players and you put them all in the first round, you go, wow, what a great draft. But at the time, it looked like a terrible draft. It just didn't look good at all here.
Was he drafted by Cleveland?
Bubby? I think Bubby was, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh drafted him first.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, they had him the first few years. Yeah, remember that?
Jesus.
Remember him on Pittsburgh?
Who did he back up? Didn't he back up O'Donnell?
Yes, it was him and O'Donnell, and then O'Donnell went to the Jets to look goofy in that stupid helmet.
And Brister went to back up Elway and get himself a ring, the cocksucker.
Oh, God. Man.
And then we had to put up with him for 2 years before they were like, this guy is terrible.
This guy's a mess. Speaking of the old Oilers, too, we're going to do a bonus episode one of these days on, I believe it's the 93 Oilers, because
the whole team?
They had this a lot of crazy stuff going on, and one of the guys ended up dying that year and having a bit of a problem and a mess on it, so there's some crime involved in it. And then also, that was the year the owner said, if you guys don't win the Super Bowl this year, I'm breaking the team up. And they had they were like 12-4, 11-5 every year, those early 90s Oilers. Remember, they were nasty.
Right.
And they didn't win the Super Bowl, so Warren Moon went to fucking Minnesota, got rid of this one, that one, and then they were so shitty they ended up moving to Tennessee.
Wow.
So, It's wild.
He just fucking he
all or nothing.
Major leagued them.
Yeah,
Major league
the fucking thing, which is crazy because either way, it was a really entertaining team too, with the run and shoot and Warren Moon throwing it all over. They were fun, man. So here we go. 1986, the Birmingham Post-Herald newspaper.
Yeah.
We all get a subscription to that, right?
Big fan, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's.
I like the editorials.
They're the best, man.
Some of the best in the country.
Skeeter Peter's my favorite. He's my favorite. His editorials are amazing down there.
I like him best because I don't know which is his first name.
That's what's great. Skeeter Peter. What's a nickname? Which one's a nickname? You don't know. So they said that this is basically an article about guys who weren't drafted in the first round and how they had to wait in agony about, because this is like goes into the next day and all that kind of shit.
Right.
So Lewis Billups said, "I just thank God I went early and thank God it's over with. Just didn't want to do it." So, because this is the second round guy, so he had to sit through the whole first round. And, they talk about how Billups had actually a teammate from North Alabama also chosen in the 7th round, and they were all very excited about that. So they said that Billups is the highest selection to be drafted by a player from North Alabama and the Gulf South Conference.
I've never even heard of either of them.
I don't know. Yeah, Gulf South Conference. North Alabama seems like a school that was made up for a movie, doesn't it? Like Necessary Roughness made up school. You know what I mean? Like it's just
NAU? What?
What is that? North Alabama? That's not a real school, is it? He said that he was waiting, I guess, in the office of his agent, who he calls an associate, which I think is funny.
Yeah.
So I said that in Bloomington, Indiana. Billups said, "I talked to guys around the league, and they told me the hardest part is the waiting. But I never dreamed it would be this hard. It was really scary, to tell you the truth. Last night I couldn't sleep. I was up by 6:45 this morning and in front of the TV by 7. I only missed the announcement of drafting Bo. I saw every pick after that. I can't describe the feeling of waiting." Yeah.
He was late to draft. What if he was number 1? He would have missed that.
I think he's pretty sure he's not number 1.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, he's like, not going to happen. He said, though, he waited. He said at one point, Tampa with the 25th pick, he said they had promised to draft him.
Oh.
So they told him they were going to, if he was still around at 25, they were going to take him. And then the Bucks took Roderick Jones, which is another defensive back.
What? Wait.
Yeah, so he said that took me back a little bit. It makes
stings.
It makes you wonder. Yeah, well, NFL team lied to you. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
They also told you it's fine to get back out there if your head's still ringing after a concussion back then.
Yeah.
So,
but it hurts. It hurts when they tell you they're going to draft you. Then they draft somebody that plays the same position. That's like
they just pick somebody else.
What the fuck, man?
Yep, that happens a lot. If be more than you'd know, like they'll tell a guy, "Hey, we're really looking at you at that," and then they just don't. They just change their mind.
Pick another running back, dude. It would make you furious and can't wait to face that team.
No shit. He said, though, so he waited. He got a call from the San Francisco 49ers who said they were going to draft him with their next pick, which was the 12th pick in the 2nd round. But before they got a chance to, he said, and then the phone rang, and it was Cincinnati.
Great.
Which is like, you can't go to two different kind of organizations in the 80s than Cincinnati and San Francisco. San Fran was the creme de la creme. They spent the money. They had a star-studded Super Bowl champion team and a brilliant head coach, and the ownership was, guys like a fucking gangster. He takes care of the players and all that kind of shit. And then you have Cincinnati.
That's Cincinnati.
Which was like major league, like the locker room there. Like I could see with an outboard engine and a fucking big tub as their
a team who's still not won the Super Bowl since.
No, because they're still the same terrible ownership that won't do anything. So
that is hilarious. That hey, this is San Fran. Get ready and know your ring size. We'll see you in a couple of picks. And then Cincy snatches you out.
Cincy's like, no, we'll go to the Super Bowl, but we'll lose to them. That's what we'll do, because that's what happened. So
keep your ring size in mind for something that will never happen for you.
AFC Championship. They give you rings for that, I think.
It's kind of a weak ring.
It's a weak ring. You don't wear that out somewhere to be like, around other players anyway. You could wear it around people who don't know, but
You could wear around the reunion of that team.
If anybody might have a real one on, a real Super Bowl ring, though, you're not wearing that if you're going to any environment where that might happen.
No way.
He said, and then the phone rang, and it was Cincinnati, which is terrible. No one wants the phone to ring and have it be the city of Cincinnati on it. Oh, God.
Oh, this is Cincinnati. Wrong number.
Oh, I smell sulfur through the phone. Wrong number. Hang up. He said, head coach Sam Weish told me, congratulations, you're now with the Cincinnati Bengals. I was shocked because I just talked to San Francisco, and then I heard my name called out on TV saying I'd been drafted by Cincinnati. Yeah, so, yeah.
I think I would believe that phone call, friend. Your life just changed for
That's
the worse or the better, your call.
Yeah. He said, all the guys around the league that I talked to told me not to worry about who tells you they'll take you. They said it never works out that way. They never draft you.
I never know.
That's what happens. I kind of thought I would go to Tampa all along, but I knew Bengal secondary coach Dick LeBeau had said he was going to try to draft me real high. He said he would bring me in and I would get to play a lot. I guess that's good. That's good. After I talked to Coach Weish, Coach LeBeau got on the phone and told me he was happy to get me, that he wanted to work with me, and I felt I had a real good chance to come in and play. He asked me if I liked to play bump, where the defensive back comes up and bumps the receiver as he comes off the line, or off, and I said I like to bump. He said they like to let their cornerbacks do what they did best in college. Basically, if you're a bump guy, great. If you're not, whatever. So they said that, he was excited. He said, his teammate, this is him. He said, I'm glad I went early, but if everybody from Auburn and Alabama had gone in the first 2 rounds, that would have been great by me. This is something I can't describe, to sit there and wait for something you've wanted all your life and to be given the chance to play in the NFL and then to have it come true. I'm going to go out and celebrate tonight, have some fun, but not too much.
Attaboy.
Attaboy. Yeah, you're on this show, so
you're a temper that.
You're not tempering it is the problem. You're definitely an issue at some point. So August 8th, 1986 comes around here, and he is signed, and they're talking about him signing for $878,000. The Bengals offered him $878,000 for 4 years, and he's asking for $975,000 for 4 years. The Bengals are known for being next to the Cardinals, the cheapest franchise
that's incredible
that's ever fucking happened. I mean, that's not bad, but they're terrible at negotiating. How many Cardinal draft picks used to hold out? It used to be they'd draft high because they sucked, and then every year they'd fucking hold out. And the guy would suck because he didn't play till the 4th week of training camp. And it's the same thing. Cheap franchises do this, and that's why they don't win. You know what I mean? That's why they don't win.
Yeah, you got them focused on their paycheck, not fucking winning the Super Bowl.
That's crazy. So they say he might be able to contribute early in the season as a 5th or 6th defensive back in passing situations, but they're thinking he'll be brought along slowly, is what the newspapers said. I guess he said that he's involved somehow. He has an agent, okay, but the Brown family here, Mike Brown, the owner of the Bengals, apparently just called him at home in Orlando to present the club's offer personally and also tell him he's got a deadline to accept, which you don't. It's just not done that way.
Yeah, tell my agent.
Only the Bengals do that.
Yeah.
This isn't
There's
1958.
a guy that gets 10% to deal with this.
That's what I mean. Who's now going to call his dad like they used to do back in the day? Like, that's what it was. Well, what's you and your dad think about this? Who cares what he thinks?
That is a crazy deal, though, of less than $900,000 over 4 years, and he has to give 10% of that to a man. Yeah. It's no money. That's no money at all.
That's what I mean. In the end, after a whole bunch, I mean, you better do that a whole bunch of times. I mean, not money for the rest of your life anyway, or anything like that.
Right. When the average NFL career is 3 years, that's nothing.
Yeah. He said, quote, "It kind of made me real mad that I got a call like that. I don't fucking blame you." Yeah. He said, "It surprised me that he would call me about my contract when I have a guy negotiating a contract for me."
Yeah.
Yeah, we have agents. If somebody called us, we'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking to us for?"
Call him. I don't know.
Yeah, call him. I don't know. You got his number, right? Bye. Click. That's it. I'm not talking to you about that. It's not what I do.
Find him on Twitter. I don't know.
We make dick jokes. Talk to this guy about fucking money and math because we don't know anything.
I think he's got an Instagram. Find him.
Yeah. When we handle it ourselves, we got screwed over every time. So that's why we don't handle it ourselves anymore.
I'm not doing that ever again.
Nope. So he said that he His spirits are still up, though, even though he's annoyed.
Oh, are they? Yeah.
He said, this is great. Quote, in the newspaper, he said this. Quote, the girls around me are keeping me up a little bit.
Oh, my God.
It's all right. I got a bunch of girls around me. They're making me feel better. That is amazing. Awesome. He said, I'm going swimming every day and working out. I just stay busy to try to keep my mind off what's going on. And he says he goes to the movies. He said, I've seen every new movie coming out. And they said, well, what's the best one? He said, Aliens. The sequel to Alien. So
he was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Yeah,
Super in Aliens.
I was getting hand jobs in the popcorn bowl.
He's like, oh, man, it was great. Yeah, I cut a hole in the bottom. I do that whole thing. Actually, I'm a ball player.
Watching Aliens.
Actually, I'm a ball player. I hold the popcorn in my arms, eat it, and just take my dick right out. It's fine. Anybody else around here get drafted by anybody? Didn't think so. So 86, the Bengals are 10-6 that year.
Really?
Is not terrible. Yeah, they were good in the mid-'80s there for a while with Boomer and all that, and fucking Icky Woods coming in and everything. Right. But still, contract in mid-August, he's still not signed.
Really?
Yep. Contract snafu keeps Billups out from the Cincinnati Enquirer here, and they said that he is not at practice still, and people are, it's a problem if you got a rookie that you want to bring in. And so, said he's not on the scene. His contract is a problem, and I guess he would come with. He came to the facility but didn't work out and just kind of stayed in street clothes and watched.
Oh, really?
So, I guess he's trying not to be – he's trying to show he wants to be part of the team, but also, what the fuck at some point? I don't know. You have to also pay them. So I guess he finally agrees to the money here, but that hasn't been signed yet at some point here. So the coach here, Sam White, said, we'll start by giving him coverage. When he masters that, we'll give him one more coverage to work with. Just let him grow slowly and master one thing at a time as opposed to taking on a lot of things at once. Okay. Which seems good here. So Billups said, I know most of it. There's still some I have to pick up, but I'm just glad to be here. He said the contract talks were discouraging. He said most of my friends had already left for pro camps, but the hard part was when the other guys started leaving for college. College? What the hell are you hanging out with? Okay. So they think he got about $950 for 4 years, which is a little less than he wanted, a little more than they wanted to give him. Nobody's happy. There you go. Everybody's...
Let's make this a shit relationship for 4 years. Come on in.
Nobody's happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody wins, I guess, is how it works. And like we said, this is the mid-'80s Bengals, pretty good. You got some couple of Hall of Fame. You got like Max Montoya in there, guys like that who are really good. He this year plays in 12 games, starts 12 games actually.
Wow.
At right cornerback too. So
incredible.
That's not bad here. That's not the main corner. That's the off corner if you're playing a right-handed quarterback, but still. So
receiver too.
Yeah, so he was known to wear the opponent's T-shirt the day of the game all the time. That was his shtick that he would do. Okay. Oh. He'd always wear the opposing team T-shirt under his shit as like a reminder that he wanted to kick their ass. So interesting. His teammates nicknamed him. He got a nice nickname here.
Oh, here we go.
They nicknamed him Toast. That's very nice.
Is that right?
Not because he had a smell like he'd been burned recently or anything like that. It's because he kept being burned by receivers. So to the point where they nicknamed him Toast. Somebody who has been burnt.
The double move all day.
All day. Not a good one-on-one guy here. So
the ins, the outs, the fly pattern. all of them are getting him.
Yep. 87 Cincinnati, that is the strike year. That's the weird replacement player year and all that weird shit. Yeah. So very strange year. Yeah, they go 4-11 that year, which is kind of a mess, obviously, but you don't know who the hell you blame for that. Doesn't really matter. I mean, Lewis starts 11 games, all the games that weren't started by replacement players. He has a fumble recovery. And no interceptions, but a fumble recovery. That's what he has that year. So June 24th, 87 is when he was having problems, though. So before the season. Before all of this, this is from the newspaper, an arrest warrant.
Oh, boy.
Issued for Lewis Billups, who's accused of assaulting a Cincinnati area woman.
What did he do?
Apparently assaulted a Cincinnati area woman. He's charged with felonious assault for beating a woman named Tracy Fair, who's 21 years old.
Oh, my God.
He allegedly hit her in the face and head, breaking her nose and perforating her eardrum.
Why?
So that's not that's not even a paintbrushing. That's punching somebody in the face and fucking
Did she
head.
have a knife or a gun?
I was gonna say,
what
was
the
she
fuck?
Was she trying to like hold up a McDonald's or some shit?
Right.
And he jumped in and saved the day. Other than that,
felonious beating.
That sounds felonious. That sounds like an ass weapon.
Certainly, yeah. It sounds like he got the best of her.
I would say he won the fight. Yeah, he could chalk that up as a win. Probably. It's like I beat this 21-year-old lady's ass. Sure.
I don't hear any injuries to him, but hers are numerous.
Yeah, she experiences 30% hearing loss and had to undergo surgery to repair her eardrum. She's going to be going, what's that now? Forever, because of this guy.
She's going to be saying, speak into my good ear.
What's that? Yeah, turning her head. What's that now? This way.
Oh, my God.
That is fucking insane. So she filed a complaint against him on the evening of the assault, but didn't sign a warrant until Monday night, they said, and police have not been able to locate Billups, who has a residence in Orlando, and the police chief here said, to the best of our knowledge, he's in Florida. Be careful, everybody. He's in Florida.
Watch out. There's a felonious assault.
That's all we know. He's going to feloniously assault you. Then June 26th, 87, he will return to the Cincinnati area to face charges that he beat up a girlfriend. Turns out it's his girlfriend, of course. Uh-huh. And, he's going to be charged with that. The June 14th attack here. Apparently, he used also, in addition to beating her about the head and face, perforating her eardrum and breaking her nose, he also held her in place and used scissors to cut off some of her hair during this, too.
He's one of those guys.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those I'll make you ugly guys, too.
Yeah, I'll make you remember this when you wake up.
This is a sick fuck. That's a sick
Truly.
fuck. Anybody who, at 21 years old, you're doing this? 22 years old? 23 he is right now. 23.
Is this domestic violence, or is this like in public and they just like got in a fight, or what the fuck's? Why would he have scissors? It's domestic. That's fucked up.
He was waiting for her when she arrived home from a Cincinnati Reds baseball game and asked her if she had seen any men at the game. What guys you hanging out with at the game? Were you talking to the?
For God's sake, man.
Yeah, that kind of shit. That's what she told the cops, and then he beat the living shit out of her and cut a bunch of her hair off to show her that I'll show you. See how much they want you now.
The insecurity.
This is wild, man. What a fucking lunatic. So Mike Brown, assistant general manager of the Bengals, said the team has arranged for Cincinnati lawyers James Perry to represent Billups. Wow, that's pretty silver. They're actually arranging his lawyer for him. He doesn't even have to get his own lawyer. That's wild.
Yeah, how do you, as an employer, how do you say, we'll get you a lawyer, don't worry about it? You beating women, and you're willing to help defend that?
I mean, we got him a lawyer. We'll make sure he's out of this. So... then, a couple months later here, August 29th, 1987, the charges are dropped.
Oh.
Yes. She had filed the charges, as we know, that she was severely beaten and everything like that, but they said that she made a police report, and now she says she does not want to press charges against Billups, and they can't go forward without her testimony and everything, so they end up dropping the fucking charges. So that is interesting here. By the way, right under that is a very interesting article about an Indiana boy killed in a stock car race.
Oh.
A 13-year-old boy named Toby was killed when he was struck and dragged beneath a stock car that careened into the pits at a race that fucking week.
Holy shit.
Holy shit. It happened during the next to last lap of a street stock feature race. And the car was struck from behind by a vehicle, went out of control, took this kid out and dragged him far. Wow, that's a lot.
Where the hell were you standing, Cody?
I don't understand any of that. Toby was in the pits, I think.
Why was he so close to the to the action?
Yeah, the kid can come down and help out, grab a tool. It's some low-level fucking racing. What do you think, they hire people?
7/16.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You think they hire people for this? Toby. Give me that fucking, that's what they got to do.
Give me the spark plug ratchet.
You know what has to be what that is. So Tracy Fair would end up filing a civil suit against Billups as well.
Oh.
And at this point in the civil trial, it comes out, she testifies, Tracy does.
Oh, boy.
That he threatened to hire someone to cut her face with a razor blade.
What is his deal?
And then he also threatened to, quote, finish the job if she did not drop the criminal charges against him.
Holy.
So I'll either have you sliced up or I will kill you if you don't do that.
Finish it, yeah.
She also testified that she required 6 operations on her face from the assault, including a bone grafting procedure in which her nose was reconstructed with a bone pulled from her skull and rib cage.
She had to have a deep nose job.
Yeah, her nose put back together. This guy,
from her ribs.
That's insane, man.
Wow.
So he ended up paying her $30,000 in an out-of-court settlement, which is less than that surgery would cost. That's crazy.
Yeah. The other part is like, you only got $900,000. You better take it easy. You can't afford much of these.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you can't. Absolutely not. I hope, and for his case, he's like, well, this is only my first contract. I'm going to be paid well after this. As L.A. Mike Richardson will tell you, maybe that doesn't work out like that. So, 1988, Bengals 12-4, crushing it. They beat the Seahawks in the first round of the playoffs back when they were over in the AFC. They beat the Bills 21-10 that year, and then lose in a very, very one of the better Super Bowls of all time, actually, against the Niners 20-16. They had the game won for 58 minutes, and then Joe Montana marched them down the field, and John Taylor, and that was that. So,
and if Stanley had been there, who knows?
That's the other thing. This is the Stanley Wilson Super Bowl. We've talked about this Super Bowl many times in the past. If you haven't heard the Stanley Wilson episode from about 7 years ago, you really should hear that because it's insane. Asshole Chris Collinsworth on this team, Boomer Esiason. Imagine how great it would be to get to tackle him.
Ah, God, Jesus, I wish.
Just
we all
over
should
the
be
middle.
so lucky.
He jumps for a ball, and you're like, I'm putting everything into this. Maybe I'll break him.
Harnessing all that is Jack Lambert, just letting him have
the whole body into it. Throw yourself sideways at him.
Fucking video he made. Jesus, what a monster.
That was really disturbing shit. So,
what a monster.
Lewis starts all 16 games this year. He has started every game he's ever played in. So
unbelievable.
They apparently like him. He has 4 picks this year, too. 4 interceptions.
That's great.
Which is pretty damn good. 2 fumble recoveries and a touchdown, too. So
the man's contributing.
He's a definitely, absolutely contributing. But now you're going up against in the Super Bowl. You got John Taylor, Jerry Rice. There's so many weapons offensively. It's really hard to deal with that whole offense. So there's a newspaper article from January 20th, 1989, and this is an apt fucking tag here. Bengals worry Billups' bravado could backfire. You think?
That is so many B's.
That's a lot. Yeah, they were really having funny with that.
My God.
So they said there's 1,000 stories in Miami this week. It was Super Bowl week. And Lewis Billups would like to be in all of them, is what it says. The football stories, the police reports, whatever you got, he's in. When he wakes up each morning, he knows there's a headline out there somewhere with his name on it. Jesus. They said Billups, a 25-year-old third-year cornerback out of North Alabama, met Mr. Microphone before he watched Mr. Rogers, and he wears an attitude and an air of bravado that unnerve even his teammates. He's a dick, basically. He's just a dick.
Sounds like it, yeah.
They said as the Bengals approached the playoffs, they found themselves hoping Billups could find a way to be boring. Jesus Christ.
But
this is a running back here, Stanford Jennings, one of Cincy's running backs. He said, the only person we worried about was Lewis Billups coming into this week because he's been known to give a few little predictions. We like to call him Lewis the Greek, like Jimmie the Greek,
that's how you're talking.
The point spread guy. I think the whole team kind of got it across. Sam, meaning Coach Weich there, might have said something. You don't really want to say anything too outrageous. You know, you don't want to have that because that's all they'll talk about for 2 weeks.
Button your fucking mouth for a week.
Yeah, he said it's just his predictions. What's funny is he's hit it on the head a couple of times. Like the predictions aren't bad. Billups, though, he says that that's just who he is, man. And he says that's what a defensive back is. You got to be cocky. You know, you're like a fighter pilot, basically. And he said, this is Lewis. He said, they say I'm the most outspoken. I almost got Canadian there. Outspoken.
Speaking about oats.
They say I'm the most outspoken person on the team. I feel like if you're going to be on the corner, you've got to be a little cocky.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like quarterbacking. You know you're a heartbeat away from getting beat for a touchdown, so you got to have confidence, a little cockiness that you can get your job done.
It's kind of like being the most important and popular person on the team, except for I'm not.
I'm not. Now, the corner, you do have to act like that on the corner, though.
Right,
if you do get burned, you have to go, well, that never happened. Nobody ever burned me. It's like being a closing pitcher or there's a lot of different ones like that. He says also, Billups says, freedom of speech is alive and well in the Bengals camp, is what he says here. But his teammates requested that he wait until the weekend to give his prediction for the Super Bowl so he wouldn't get mad at it. Nobody on the other side would get pissed off at him. This is veteran defensive back Ray Horton said the coaches told Billups, quote, Lewis, quiet down a little bit. There's nothing wrong with saying what you believe, but remember, there's somebody else who reads too.
Yeah.
So, his teammates can't remember anything Billups has said this season that was particularly bad. They said it's just those predictions. Stop making predictions here.
Stop saying it.
Yeah, stop saying shit. And he does have that's in the whole playoffs here. The problem is, though, he's remembered during this Super Bowl for his dropped interception in the beginning of the fourth quarter. The Bengals were up 13-6. And the Niners started at the Bengals' 10-yard line, and Joe Montana threw a pass toward Billups, and he dropped it fucking right there. He had it dead in his hands. And on the next play, the Niners scored a touchdown, tying the game at 13.
Shit.
That's a problem. Then obviously John Taylor caught it, and that was that. So he's known for that was the end. If he caught that, the game's over.
Game's over, yeah.
That's it. They win the game, and that's pretty much the end of the world there for San Francisco.
And we probably see that play for the next 40 years.
Oh, he's a hero.
Taylor. Yeah.
He's a fucking hero. Yeah. I mean, Christ, he might have won fucking MVP if he did that. If he had a few other decent plays.
All about Icky Woods.
That's it. Oh man, he would have been huge. So 1989 Bengals, they go 8-8, not quite as good, and it's a downhill slide from there. By 91, they're fucking terrible. They're like a 2-win team or some shit. So. Not wonderful here. He, though, starts all 16 games, has 2 interceptions, which not too bad, I guess. Not bad, yeah. 1990, Bengals are 9-7. Again, it's okay, I guess, but no, nothing special here. He starts 14 games that year, has 3 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries.
Oh.
So not too shabby. 1990 comes around here, and now we have a problem. This is February 6th, 1990, just after the season. Mm-hmm. This is the Arizona Republic. So the local in Phoenix there.
In the Maricopa County area.
Oh, yes. Let's just read from the top. Cincinnati Bengals defensive back Lewis Billups pointed a gun at 2 undercover police officers.
What?
And then drove into northern Kentucky at a high rate of speed before being stopped and charged with weapons violations on January 4th, the officer said. This was, it had to be, I guess. Billups, why else would you go to Kentucky from Cincinnati? Billups, who was free on $9,000 bail, appeared in a preliminary hearing on a felony charge of illegally transporting a loaded weapon and 2 misdemeanor charges of aggravated menacing, which seems, wow. That's weird.
That's assault with a deadly weapon is what that is.
Police officers especially here.
Right.
That same day, by the way, Gerald Perry, who was a Broncos offensive lineman, had to serve 2 concurrent 15-day jail terms after he was convicted of soliciting a prostitute in Denver.
Oh, Gerald.
So that's nice. February 15th, 1990, Billups here is going to be sentenced. He pleads guilty, I guess, here. And he only has to complete 40 hours of community service for carrying a concealed weapon.
Oh?
But I guess he faces more serious charges in Hamilton County Municipal Court in Cincinnati, where 2 undercover police officers testified that he pointed a gun at them. Okay. So I would say so. He has 9 months to complete the community service. But they end up dismissing his concealed weapons charge.
Oh.
Which I don't understand here. They're going to try to figure it out and go from there. I guess 2 plainclothes Cincinnati officers testified on February 5th they saw Billups with a handgun in his car before he was stopped by a police officer in Kentucky. They said that he was ordered to perform 40 hours of community service, and he has to do it within 9 months. That's instead of facing a misdemeanor charge of carrying a concealed weapon. I don't know. So here we go. February 22nd, 1990, he claims racism in concealed weapons charges. That's the title of the article. Yeah. He says he never pointed a gun at 2 undercover officers on January 4th and claims his arrest was racially motivated.
How did they know he had a gun?
He said, quote, well, you know what? Let's do it in their own words on this. What do you say? Let's give him, he wants to have a say. Let's give him a say here. Lewis says, in their own words, quote, "It's nothing but racism. They saw a young black man in a sports car and decided something must be up. The judge saw through the whole thing. If I had been anyone else, they wouldn't have pressed so hard for the felony charge. As soon as they found out I was Lewis Billups with the Cincinnati Bengals, they decided to push hard for it. I definitely think it was racism." So, I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. I wasn't there. Body cams would have helped there. Did he point it or not? That would have been good. So, they dismissed the felony concealed weapon charge, but there's still the 3 misdemeanor charges pending, 2 for aggravated menacing and 1 for improper transportation of a firearm there. So the police chief in Cincinnati refused to comment. Billups also was upset with the media for the way they played it up. He said the radio and television stations made it look like I was riding around looking for a store to rob or to murder somebody. He said they blew it way out of proportion. I'm very upset with the media over this.
Okay.
He said he's a gun collector and often shoots at Mark's Guns and Target Range in Florence, Kentucky.
That's how they knew.
That's he said that he lives in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, and he informed the police department there of his gun collection when he moved to town, but he wanted to find out if he needed permits. On the day of his arrest, he said he left his apartment en route to the shooting range, but drove first to Globe Record Store downtown to pick up some albums. And he said he had a handgun in the holster on top of the console that separates the 2 seats in his Corvette. He said the car does not have a glove compartment. When he returned to his car from the record store, he said the gun had fallen from the holster and slipped between the console and the seat. That's a pretty bad holster, then.
Yeah.
It's not doing the one thing it's designed to do, which is to keep a gun in it.
Also, that's not the appropriate place to place a weapon. If it can slide around the vehicle, that's a problem.
It's not secured, which is really what it's supposed to be here. He said, all I did was pick up the gun and put it back in the holster. That's all. I didn't point it or wave it or anything. One of the cops said I pointed the gun at him. I didn't. Yeah, maybe.
I don't know.
So they schedule his court appearance here. It's supposed to be for April 27th to go through all of this. And in that same exact article right below it, there's an obituary for a little leaguer who died at a game.
Did he pull a gun on a cop?
He did. They shot him dead right at first base. Little leaguer William Ryan Wojcik, 10, who died from heart failure after a wild pitch struck him in the chest in Tampa.
Oh, fuck!
Had no history of heart problems. Just got hit by a pitch and died.
A 10-year-old hit him.
Yeah, so the pitch is going 58 miles an hour tops.
Oh, my.
And hit him in the chest.
Just the
and
right
died.
timing.
Yeah.
Hit him in between a beat.
How many times did that Little League coach say, the ball can't hurt you, just it's okay, don't be afraid of it, it can't hurt you. And then all the kids on both teams saw a kid get hit and die right on the field. They're probably like, fuck that, I'm taking my glove off, man.
I'm going home, coach.
I'm laying it down right now, dude. I'm done with this shit.
I'm retired.
Wow, no heart problem. Wasn't like he had a bunch of heart problems and the doctor said, whatever you do, don't hit him in the chest. That didn't even happen.
And now that pitcher for the rest of his life is going around going, I fucking killed a guy.
I killed a guy.
With my fastball when
I used to play ball, but my pitch was so fast I killed a kid when I was 10 in the 5th grade. So I decided I can't do it no
46.
more. Yeah. Ever seen that one where that kid falls out of a tree or gets hit by lightning or something, then he pitches for the Cubs? That was me, kind of, but I didn't want to kill anymore. Too much blood on my hands.
I didn't want to kill anymore.
Had blood on my hands and I couldn't do it anymore. He's grizzled.
Until I was 17.
Yeah, he's grizzled, drinking cheap whiskey, smoking cigarettes, going, let me tell you about Little League, everybody.
Take another Lord Calvert, please.
I'll take 2 more Calverts, please. Oh, my God. So here we are in April 5th, 1990. He is now indicted on a felony count now. Indicted on 1 felony count of carrying a concealed weapon. That's in it with that incident.
And he's not allowed, yeah.
I guess, yeah, he wasn't allowed here. They said the prosecutor said that the grand jury's indictment is unaffected by a judge's dismissal of the felony concealed weapon charge brought by police. They said no court date's been set yet, and of course he's pissed off here. They said they followed him in their unmarked car at speeds of up to 65 miles an hour before he was pulled over by a marked cruiser, and they got the gun and all that kind of shit. So May 1st, 1990, he has not signed a contract, and he has gun charges, and he does not show up at Bengals minicamp, which you're supposed to do. Yeah, which isn't great. By the way, on that same day, Dave Meggett, another guy here was acquitted of charges of soliciting sex after a 3-day trial in which he insisted he was just being polite to an undercover policewoman. I politely offered her $50 for a blowjob. That's very polite.
I politely said, I'll get you a nice dinner.
I didn't say, give me a blowjob. That would be impolite. I said, I'll give you money for a blowjob, which to me is very polite, is what
I
he said.
thought I was being very polite.
He is a fucking monster, if you haven't heard the Dave Meggett episode, by the way. Yeah, and he is where the shawarma man came from, as a matter of fact. So June 25th, 1990, Billups admits gun charges now.
Oh!
Now he pleads guilty to 3 misdemeanor charges. They make a deal with him here.
Well, why did he do that?
He really goes back and forth a lot on what he's talking about here. This is crazy. So he faces maximum penalties of 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine on each of the 3 charges. Here, he was arrested, obviously, in northern Kentucky and all this type of shit.
Really making anything he says hard to believe after that.
It's really difficult, yeah. So finally, July 31st, 1990, this is the middle of training camp here, he is going to get, you, sir, may fuck off, 30 days in jail for this.
Oh, Lewis.
Yep, he gets 30 days in jail to be served after the NFL season, though.
Oh,
like we don't want you to miss
leisure.
We don't want you to miss training camp. I mean, we're all Bengals fans here, honestly.
Yeah.
Making the Super Bowl probably saved him because it made the Bengals less of a laughing stock around there.
That's got to really hurt because I think Canton is closest to that town, right? It's got to be
probably there, Cleveland, one of the two.
It's much closer to Columbus, I think, or
I think so.
To Cincy, I think.
Yeah, I think it's more southern. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
It's got to sting.
Let's sting a little bit here. He was sentenced to 180 days, but they suspended 150 days of it. And he's on 1 year of probation as well. So, yeah.
That's a pretty tough sentence then.
That's he could fuck up. If he fucks up, he's in trouble here. So the Bengals, though, here's an article right then about how they need Billups even if they don't like it, is the title of this article from the newspaper. Yeah. They say probably Lewis Billups will play football for the Cincinnati Bengals this year. When the urge strikes him, Bengals assistant general manager Mike Brown will make Billups' agent, Ed Sewell, an offer that both will find reasonable. Billups will sign, and Cincinnati will have one cornerback at nose can cover an NFL wide receiver. That's one more than the team has now. So we're terrible, and he's decent, so it's fine if you just sign him.
You know, as much as it does hurt to have a team that stinks, when your team stinks, it's brutal. But it does lend to the best news articles like that.
Yeah,
it'll be one more than they have now.
They're pretty bad. So I don't know. He's mediocre. That's an upgrade.
He can at least cover a wide receiver in the NFL.
An NFL receiver. He said, Billups will not be crazy about playing here, and the Bengals will not be wild about having him. The injuries, nobody. That sounds like an old married couple fucking. He's not crazy about fucking her, and she's not real crazy about having his dick, but there they are. Still fucking.
They're doing it.
Still fucking, yeah. They bought some toys and shit. They're trying to make it work. I don't know.
She's pretending, he's pretending.
Yeah, just
they're
an
both
old
pretending
marriage.
they're somebody else.
There's certain things they need now, and they have quite the routine.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Have you ever gotten a message out of the blue? Maybe you ignore them. Or maybe you end up in conversation. Maybe they tell you about an amazing offer.
I can really show you how to make some money.
And maybe that gets you into a lot of trouble. But this isn't a story about people like you, the people receiving these messages. This is a story about the people behind the messages, on the other end of the line. Thousands of them, working in a microcity built for scammers. From Wondery, the makers of Dr. Death and Kill List, comes Scam Factory, a new series about survival at the expense of others. Follow Scam Factory on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Scam Factory early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
So the injuries to cornerback Eric Thomas and free safety Ricky Dixon have put the Bengals in a distasteful position of needing a player they don't really want.
Yeah.
That's right. But a week later, Bengals Billups chasm widens, they say here. So apparently, yeah, they're it's not going well. The Bengals and Lewis Billups entered a Cold War of sorts Sunday.
See what I mean? This is
this is awesome.
Alone is
a
fantastic.
Cold War, yeah. And there's nothing else to talk about because the team sucks. It's not like, we're excited about this or that. Oh, by the way, they're having a hard time signing Billups. There's none of that shit. That's when Billups' agent says assistant general manager Mike Brown didn't offer a counter-proposal and told him the club is preparing to play this season without its unsigned cornerback. Then his agent said, that's about where it stands now. I guess that meant that he didn't accept the offer. I guess not. The agent wouldn't say if his client is prepared to sit out the season, but it appears he scaled down his latest proposal. When asked if he was using the estimated $800,000 salary of safety David Fulcher as the ceiling and wide receiver Tim McGee's estimated $700,000 a year as a floor, Sewell said, I wouldn't say that. So Billups made $200,000 last year, so they're trying to get a little more, which is, They said they also said that the Bengals have no interest in Dave Duerson, who we talked about a few weeks ago there. Mm-hmm. They said, we're pleased with our safety men. When's the last, outside of 1945, when's the last time someone said safety men? Jesus Christ. So trying to sign him anyway, but this is going to the season. And then finally, September 6, 1990, Bengals welcome cornerback Lewis Billups now.
He's in.
Yep. The signing of cornerback Lewis Billups gives the Cincinnati Bengals exactly what they need in their pass defense. Someone who knows what he's doing. That's great. Billups ended a 42-day walkout by signing with a new contract. Terms were not disclosed. Bengals players are threatened with financial penalties if they reveal contract details.
Really?
Which is absolutely not okay with their union now. You couldn't say that now. The guy, that's to keep salaries down. That's why they do that. You're not allowed to tell him what. Fuck
Don't
you.
tell
I'll
me
tell
what
you.
you make.
Yeah, whatever job you have, immediately, day one, everybody tell everybody else what they're making, or else you're going to all get fucked over. That's it.
Yeah, that's how it works. Yeah.
There's a reason why they don't want you to talk about it. It's not because it's going to hurt you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not because it does anything about making. Yeah, it makes things tense in here because it should make it tense for the fucking boss, not for you.
You're not making money. Shit, you're the one. Hey, if we suck, it's who's fucking losing money, not me. You.
Right.
So that's your problem. So make us all happy here. So anyway, they said, he told me I'm starting Sunday, Billups said after a brief meeting with the coaches. He hasn't even been in training camp. He's been hasn't picked up a football, and now he's going to start in the NFL. And they said, how the hell are you going to start a guy who he signed Wednesday. He's going to start Sunday with no training camp. And Dick LeBeau said he knows the defense. That counts for a lot.
We haven't changed anything.
We haven't.
That's not good, Dick.
And everybody else we have is terrible. Yeah. So they said that they both Billups and the Bengals compromised their positions this week to get it done. Billups said everybody just wanted to get it over with. It was a compromise and a very good compromise. Mm-hmm. Well, I guess so. So he said not taking anything away from Rod and Carl, the other guys, but they play a lot of zone in Phoenix and Tampa. You know what Dick LeBeau plays, a lot of blitzes and bump and run, and that's what I'm used to. So he said he's been running to stay in shape, but he admits he'll be rusty at pass defense. So I don't know how rusty I'll be. Well, considering that's your fucking job, it's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
He should have just done his 30 days while he was holding out. Just get it all over with at once here. But yeah, he said that he also said that he worked out another deal after the sentencing to avoid jail time and serve the sentence through home incarceration.
Now he's doing it at home.
Yeah, that is fucking silly, man. So basically, during the whole problem with all this, apparently, they said that Billups said he felt he wasn't welcome in Cincinnati, and Mike Brown, the general manager, and the owner's son said, bullshit. Sure you are. And Brown said, quote, now it's not trade me, it's pay me. He wants more money. That's what they told him that's what they told the press. We're not going to give it to him. He'll have to pay the consequences.
Oh.
Wow. That is, they're so fucking cheap. Jesus Christ. So regardless, he entered his option year, scheduled to earn $575,000 that season, was fined $1,500 a day, each for missing the 42nd day when he signed a new contract. And they wiped that all out. Otherwise, he'd owe $70,000 back to the team. Yeah. So 1991, they go 3-13. They're fucking terrible.
3-13. Holy.
Every once in a while, 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm working, I'll put on an old fucking game on YouTube. And a few weeks ago, I put on a 1991 Monday Night Football. It's like week 7, I want to say.
Yeah.
Bengals-Bills. And the Bills were great at that time period. They made the Super Bowl 4 years, and the Bengals were 0-6 at the time. And it was such a fucking disaster, Jimmy. It was such a disaster. Everything they did was wrong. They were fucking up. They kept fumbling. It was like Jim Kelly threw 3 picks in the first half, and they didn't score on any of them. They were terrible. At one point, fucking Boomer Esiason throws a 50-yard touchdown pass, but he had stepped up past the line of scrimmage, so they called it off. And
my God.
The next play, he throws an interception. That was how it went. I've never watched a football game that was that funny. I was cracking up laughing. It was like a comedy show, like somebody wrote it. It was fucking hilarious, this game. Just a comedy of errors. It was awesome. If you ever want to watch a funny game, that's the one to do it. So, bad fucking team. Just a goddamn disaster. And they were kept it was Monday Night Football, so they kept showing interviews, and they'd show interviews with everybody. So, God, how bad could it get? You're 0-6. Is it going to get worse? And they're like, listen, we think our team's still good, and we can still have a decent season.
We're going to make the playoffs. Don't worry.
Oh, my God. So he only started 7 games that year out of 13 and had 1 fumble recovery and no interceptions. So 1992 now, he's going to be gone from Cincinnati.
Oh.
And April 2nd, 1992, the Green Bay Packers signed they signed Billups. Billups said he almost signed with Tampa because Sam White's just got hired because he got fired after 91.
Went down there, huh?
So, but he said he didn't. He said, we had some disputes, but I almost signed with Tampa Bay today. I respect Sam. I could have played for him. Okay. But he didn't. He signs with Green Bay here. So that's nice. That's April 1992. Green Bay gets to figure out, here's the thing. When you get a new guy, you want to get all of him, not just on the field. You want to get all the off the field. You want the flavor and
the whole piece.
The whole piece of him. And they get that. By July 1992, he adds his full flavor to the team when an Orlando decorator obtained a restraining order against him.
Orlando decorator?
Or a decorator in Orlando where he lives.
Yeah.
Apparently alleged that Billups had, quote, become irrational, hostile, and abusive and threatened to physically harm her.
Why is he so insecure?
I hate this love scene. Fuck these curtains. It's a decorator.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going out with her. We'll talk about it. But that's just funny the way they put it. It made it sound like it was a decorating dispute in the newspaper. It's just wild.
Like some sort of shape or sofa that he can't take.
Yeah, they argued over the color of the accent wall, and then he just said, I will kick your fucking ass. And she was like, oh, hold on.
There's too much pink in here.
Chill out, man. Jesus.
Well, that was a weird thing in the early 90s that pink was just
the 80s.
Fucking everywhere in your house. That light pastel pink was so popular.
Kitchens, too.
Fuck, yeah. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on in the 90s there.
Pink inside the house. Why are you doing this?
The 80s, too. Pink was gross and everywhere.
Yeah, and it carried right on into fucking Weekend at Bernie's
90s.
Area. Yeah.
Yeah, once 92 came along, it was good.
It started,
but like 91 is still the 80s.
Yeah, it sure is.
It still looks like it. So 92 Green Bay, which obviously makes sense too, because you look at shit from 83, you go, that looks like the 70s.
Yeah.
It still looks same hair, same collars. What's going on here?
Lots of brown and green.
Yeah, like 82, it's still the same thing. It doesn't turn into the 80s till like 84. That's when it's like
chocolate brown. Was so popular. Ew.
Yeah. Oh, in the 70s was like, I want like puke, like baby puke yellow.
Yeah.
Mustard brown.
Lima green.
Yeah, what's
Lima
that?
bean green.
Yeah, give me like any kind of green vegetable flavor.
That color, dark,
that
deep,
weird,
green.
deep, stupid green. Yeah,
fucking deep. Not
appliances.
Forest.
That color.
Yeah, deep green, avocado.
Weird, fucking vegetable green is the only way to describe it.
It's bad.
So 92 is Green Bay, and that is kind of a transition time for Green Bay because Mike Holmgren just took over here.
I was going to ask if Holmgren was there yet.
So they go 9-7 this year.
Okay.
And Lewis is on the team, and we'll find out a little bit here about what he did here. But he said he would like to sue, is what he'd like to do.
Oh, he wants to sue her.
in the middle of the team here. He said he would like to sue for libel if he could, but his lawyer tells him the best he can do is just get himself out of it. He says that he is among 8 members of the 1990 Cincinnati Bengals who have hired lawyers to defend themselves against rape charges brought against 20 players. Yeah, this is a big deal. The charges stem from an alleged 1990 incident in a hotel room outside Seattle after a game.
Oh, my God.
Billups and the 7 others claim they had no involvement and have been charged only because they are black. So, the other 12 players, Billups says, will say the other 8 weren't at the hotel. And Billups said, I didn't know anything about it. If the girl came up to me right now and shook my hand, I would, because I don't even know what she looked like.
He's being accused of rape in a hotel, like group
It seems
sex?
like a gang rape, yeah. like a team rape, I guess it would be in this case. Defensive backs now. It was fucking gross. So the woman's charging that she was, quote, sadistically raped.
One woman
by 13 to 15 Bengal players.
Jesus Christ, you guys.
Dude, that is disturbing. At least, good fucking guy. Number one, even the Vikings got a shitload of strippers on the boat.
Even they got a boat and invited people. This is just one person?
We're all going to fucking Bobby's hotel room to fucking... This is ridiculous. After the October 3rd, 1990 game in Seattle, she said the rape occurred during a 2-hour period on the floor of a hotel room here. Lawyers, Peter Burns and Brad Keller of Seattle, who represent Billups and 7 others, said this, quote, the charges made by the plaintiff and her lawyers against these 8 players are reckless, false, and defamatory.
Yeah.
The players had no involvement of any kind with the so-called woman, and there is absolutely no basis for bringing them into this lawsuit other than the fact that they are black athletes who happened to play for the Bengals at the time. Each of the 20 players charged is black. Named in the suit are James Francis, Barney Bussey, Eric Thomas, Rodney Holman, I remember him, Tim McGee, Reggie Rembert, I remember him, David Fulcher, Ricky Dixon, Eric Ball, Harold Green. These are a lot of names are
That's a
on
lot
the team
of people,
for a long time. Eddie Brown, Mitchell Price, and then Billups, Craig Ogletree, Bernard Clark, Icky Woods. Oh, no.
Icky.
No, Icky, all smiley in the grocery store, spiking shit and dancing on commercials.
Maybe
no.
did something so bad.
Ickathy, please.
Ickathin.
Yeah, Ickneal. Call me Ickneal. Icky Woods. Craig Taylor, Carl Carter, that's a bad name, Solomon Wilcots, and Leo Barker. Billups said she didn't know who all the guys were, so she mentioned all the black guys on the team. Especially, she put in the highest paid. She probably put in the pecking order, the highest paid black guys on the team, because it's a civil suit and she wants money for it. Well, probably, black or not, he's the whitest guy in the world, but I would accuse Boomer. He's probably making the most money.
That's
Boomer!
Yeah.
Boomer raped me. Look, there's fucking white hairs all over me. Gross. These
like fucking a cat shed on me.
No shit. They said Billups sat in the Packers locker room Thursday and reflected on the events since last Tuesday when the players were identified. He talked about how his name should be removed from the case, but that wouldn't be enough for him.
No?
He said, I don't want it to end like that. I want us to sue the woman because they said we really can't do that because she didn't come out in the media and say Lewis Billups did this. I don't think it's fair. Of course, the media is going to get hold of it and print it because of who we are. So, yeah, come on. Jesus Christ. He said, this is ridiculous. He said that, I guess, by the way, he has a pet cougar at this point.
Oh, dear God, of course.
That's how fucking nuts he is. He's got a pet cougar. Anybody we've talked to who's had exotic animals, they're out of their fucking minds.
Yeah.
It's Tyson, it's guys like that. They're fucking nuts. So a pet cougar, and that he wore sunglasses during the Packers picture day. And he says that, anyone can own a dog, is what he says, and everyone poses with sunglasses off. That's why he did it, because I fucking dog, that's lame. I get a cougar. And
I'm not everybody.
Yeah, he said, everybody can follow the leader, right? I don't like that. I want to be different. You are on a uniform with 53 in a uniform with 53 other guys wearing the exact same fucking uniform.
They're dressed the same way as you.
Exactly. Even your shoes have to be the same color. Fuck out of here.
Follow the leader. You're accused in gang rape, where everybody does that. Don't use those words.
Jesus Christ. They said, quote, he wants to be cocky. He has more football cards above his locker than any other Packers player. Each of the cards is of himself.
He has his own cards.
His own cards up there.
What an asshole.
He might be the only Packers player who could outbrag first-round pick Terrell Buckley. He might be the only Packers player who could live with quarterback Don Majkowski and talk down on him. I guess everybody liked Majkowski. He said, when I was first here, I just started messing with Majkowski all the time. During practice, during the game, we would have the same kind of aura about us. So when I was looking for a place, he said, I've got a house. You can just stay there. He said that, he said, so he's going to, that's what he was doing.
Gave him his house?
He just said he could live in my house. Sure, why not? That's interesting. Anyway, after the October 4th game this year against the Falcons, he loses his temper at the post-game press conference.
Yeah.
Has a bit of a freak out there. Then on the flight back from Atlanta, he ordered food, and the food arrived late. So he screamed at the stewardess at the time. Stewardess is what he called her. And what they are, flight attendant. Screamed at the flight attendant until she ran away crying.
Wow.
We'll go with stewardess if you're crying at work. So your flight attendant until tears start coming down your eyes. And then I don't care what gender you are, you're a stewardess at that point, right?
Flight attendants throw people off planes. Stewardesses cry about it.
They fucking call, they get pissed. Stewart ran away crying. Not just if you stood there with a tear and still fucking flopped, I'm down with you. You know what I mean? You can't control your insides. Maybe you got all, but if you ran away crying, then again, he's a terrifying man. So, you know what?
He punches women, dude. He'll break her earlobe.
He'd probably send one of us running away crying.
Yeah,
I don't know if the meal was late. I'm not sure. So, you know what? I take all what I just said back, but fuck it. So, after the plane landed, he's having a bad day, okay? Bad press conference, makes a stewardess cry, lands, gets in his car, drives, and crashes his car.
How?
Well, he went up on a curb and took out a wire to a power pole, causing 1,000 people to lose power, of course, too.
Took the whole power span down.
Of course. This guy can't just... even when he's trying to just be self-destructive, 1,000 people lose electricity. Like, he's a fucking disaster, this guy.
That means he drove up that wire that goes down from the pole. He drove up it and got his car stuck on it.
Yeah. What a fucking idiot. He's not good at this, man. So he does all that. He's issued a ticket for, I'm sure, driving like an asshole would probably be the official terminology.
Reckless driving, failure to control your vehicle. There's a lot of different ways to consider
dipshit behind the wheel. There we go. There, that's all you now. So then he shows up at the practice facility on Monday and finds out that he's been released by the Packers.
Oh, shit.
Yes. He had lost his starting job to rookie Terrell Buckley, who was a starter for years with the Packers.
He was a
good
player. Yeah.
He was a real good player. He was a first-round draft pick, too. And, if you're a guy they just signed out of Cincinnati, didn't give huge money to, and they draft a first-round pick, that guy's getting the job when he figures it out, obviously. And they said that, this is Ron Wolf, the general manager, said, we don't want a distraction. Here's a guy that doesn't want to be here, so in that sense, we accommodated him.
Oh, we allowed it.
Yeah, if he didn't want to play, now he's not playing. That's great.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, he said, but I don't want to say anything negative about him. He played a role here. We're trying to compete and win football games, and he didn't want to be here. Now he's free to go somewhere else. But he's known as a huge asshole is the problem here. He only played one down in the last game he played with the Packers.
Really?
So, yep. Here he is. This is he played 5 games that year, started 4 of them. So the problem with this is no one else really wants to sign him. And that is going to be the end of his NFL career.
Done.
He's an asshole and nobody likes him. That's the problem.
Oh, man.
It's tough, but when you're dealing with team sports, how you are in the locker room doesn't matter when you're 24 and you're great.
Yeah.
Nobody cares because they need your production. But when you're 29 and there's another guy who's a free agent rookie who's 22 and you guys can kind of do the same job, at that point you better be beloved in that fucking locker room or else your ass is getting cut. The coaches have to go, we can't cut that guy. He's great for the young play. Like, that's what you need. Otherwise, you're out. And he's not that guy. He's an asshole. And he's a 29-year-old cornerback, which...
A 29-year-old cornerback with that's done nothing.
He has nine career interceptions.
Oh, my God.
And hasn't had one since 1990.
Uh-oh.
So, and he's not a real great tackler or anything like that. Like, he's not a guy who does that. He's a wannabe shutdown corner who's not a shutdown corner. That's not
doing it.
Yeah. He talks shit and acts all wild like Dion, but Dion's out there getting picks and shutting down a whole side of the field. He's getting cut by the Packers. A little different.
Being called Toast.
Toast is his nickname. So the next day, Bengals general manager Mike Brown said that he remains an admirer of Lewis Billups' ability, but the Bengals have no plans to try to sign him at all.
We admire his ability.
From afar.
Same admiration for his life and him.
Yeah. We admire it from afar is what we do. We watch it through a window like a kid watching other kids play in the snow. He said, I would doubt that he would fit in here again. I don't disparage his ability. I thought he played well against us when we were here when we were in Green Bay, but it's probably best that he pursue his career somewhere else. Yep, he's placed in Plan B free agency. They said this is great, quote, he was unpopular with Cincinnati fans and also with a significant number of Cincinnati players. Yeah, I would say. They cut him when he complained publicly over losing his job. Yeah, if you make him upset, he'll go right to the media and talk shit about what's going on with your team. Who wants that there?
While also criticizing the media and everybody else. What the fuck, dude?
Weird. It's wild. So, I mean, nobody wants a marginal talent that does that. No. That's the problem. You have to be great. So they said he was in Cincinnati Tuesday, but not on a matter related to a possible signing. He had a grievance hearing over a claim for a week's pay in which he was docked for missing last year's game at Buffalo. And this Bengals suspended Billups for the Buffalo game after determining he injured a finger in a fight outside a Covington, Kentucky convenience store.
Oh, boy.
He wasn't arrested for it, but that's how he hurt himself. He got in a fight at a fucking convenience store by the airport.
Jesus, good Lord.
He's a mess.
That's just one of those little shitty gas stations. And he's fighting there?
He's fighting there.
It's literally a convenience store where you get in and get out, and he's in there long enough to get injured in a fight.
Either just have to get to the airport or just got off a plane. Who wants to fight when you just got off a plane?
I want nothing to do with those stores. No.
And on the way there, you want to build up good karma so you don't plunge from the sky.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't fight on the way there either. I always see that in an airport. Like, I try to be nice to the employees and all that kind of shit because I'm like, you guys are really taking some fucking walking the karmic high wire here.
Yeah. You're taking a lot of shit from people who are delayed or canceled or all kinds of reasons to not be leaving there.
Well, also for these passengers to be complete assholes to people and then be like, I'm going to get on a plane and magically fly through the sky and I'm sure nothing bad will happen. I'm like, yo, you're...
Well, I just shit on that old lady that sold me this National Enquirer in this time.
Yeah. I just yelled at a desk agent because somebody fucking somewhere else did something I didn't like. So, December 17th, 1992. This is great from the Stevens Point Journal, and I love the headline, quote, Billups in trouble again. Just
one more again.
Here it is. Police arrested former Green Bay Packers cornerback Lewis Billups after a woman accused him of raping her.
Oh, my.
And threatening to show her husband a videotape of the rape unless she paid him $20,000.
Her husband.
He apparently allegedly raped a married woman.
Yeah.
Maybe she was Italian. I don't know. Raped a...
Is she going to be Italian?
I don't know. It just almost came out that way. So I was reading something else, and that's how it works here. I'm always setting up the next thing.
Italian.
Yeah. So he raped a married woman, videotapes it, and then threatens to, then blackmails her about it?
Yeah.
That's balls right there, boy. That is...
What's the, like, I don't understand. Does he...
wow.
I don't know the angle there. Is it because because she's married and this is like, we cheated, but you raped her?
Yeah, but I'll say I didn't. I'll say, that she wanted it and that's how she likes it. I don't know what his plan was. And then
I need to know the angle.
Also, for her, wouldn't she just go, well, I mean, if you're going to show my husband anyway, I'll just go to the cops and tell him you fucking raped me and then try to blackmail me with it, too, at the same time.
Oh, you've got it on tape. That's terrific.
Perfect.
I'm calling the police.
That's what I mean. Wow, this might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. I'm going to commit a horrible crime and put irrefutable proof of it, too. Get that. And then I'll use that to my advantage somehow. Imagine that. This is why we've never heard of this before, because no one's ever been dumb enough to try this as a fucking criminal scheme.
I'll tell you what, if you don't show it to my husband, I'll give you $5. But if you show it to these police officers, I'll give you $20,000.
I'll give you $20,000. This is episode 388, so we've had a lot of dummies on this show. We've had a lot of people doing a lot of dumb crime. We've never had this before. A crime in sports first, everybody. It rarely happens.
I'm going to blackmail you about the crime I committed.
With the crime I committed. Like, I think I can blackmail you now because you have proof of a crime you committed. Now we'll turn the tables. You give me $20,000 or I'll tell the cops you have that tape. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't understand leverage at all here.
What a dummy.
And what are you doing raping anybody? Fuck is wrong with you?
Now I don't believe a word he fucking says about that hotel rape.
I haven't believed anything he said ever through this whole episode. Be honest here. He just likes to talk. So they say Billups and a 35-year-old man named Gregory Calloway of Orlando, of course, a Florida resident, were held Wednesday without bail on charges of sexual battery and extortion.
Oh my God! They both did it.
I don't know if he was maybe
he held the camera.
He could have been a go-between on the extortion. So the sheriff's office has 2 previous reports in the last several months of other women who said they were drugged and raped by both these men. Wow. Several reports from several different women that 2 assholes drugged and raped them. Those women declined to press charges at the time because it's 1992 and there's still a stigma there too. So, wow, that is disturbing.
What the fuck?
They said that last month he joined 10 present and former Bengals players who have countersued a Washington woman who claimed that 20 players raped her. It was only 10, so they sued her. Wow. In March 1991, they talk about he served a 30-day sentence for waving a gun around. Holy shit. So these charges involve a complaint by a woman whose name, age, and residence were not made public at this time here. I guess she was invited by the Calloway guy to have lunch with him at Billups' home in a very nice subdivision. So, hey, come to this really nice house and have, he's a football player and he played for these teams. Here's a quote from the prosecutor. They befriended her at a local business and said the right things, and she thought she was going home for lunch, nothing sexual. She said she felt strange after drinking a cocktail. Yeah. That feeling progressed to a point of no longer being in control of her faculties. Billups restricted her movement by laying on top of her on the couch and immobilizing her arms.
Oh, God.
Very nice. She said Billups removed her clothes and raped her while Calloway, who's an Orlando librarian, videotaped it.
The librarian.
The librarian videotaped. He likes to chronicle things and keep them all together.
That's the Dewey Decimals.
The victim protested verbally during the offense, and this is all on
sure
tape.
She did.
Yeah. When the story appeared on television, 2 more women phoned the sheriff's office to report similar ordeals with the same 2 men. Yeah, this isn't something you do once. They got a scheme they're doing here. They said, quote, "The phone has been ringing off the hook. We believe there are additional victims."
That's the worst way.
Oh, my God. Police have an audio tape in their possession of the November 30th incident that the 2 men allegedly gave to the woman in an attempt to extort money. Didn't give her the videotape. It said, here's the audio part of the tape so you know it's on there. And then she said, okay, and took that to the cops.
Good move.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah.
Here's you saying, don't rape me. Give me money now? Are you not? Yeah. You just gave her the means to extort you fucking moron. You get the tape and go, sure. As a matter of fact, no. I want it from you. Tables turn, motherfucker.
I'm going to give you proof that a rape exists. Now,
proof.
Give me money. What?
Wow. So they approached her while she was putting gas in her car, by the way.
Wow.
This is after it happened. A few weeks later, Calloway popped up and threatened to extort her there at that point. The woman told police she was originally afraid to go to the cops because she feared the publicity would hurt her husband's business.
Oh, poor guy.
I guess apparently this Calloway walked up on her when she was pumping gas a couple weeks later and told her that he would send a copy of the tape to her husband if she didn't pay him $7,500. The next day, Calloway phoned the woman at her home and said Billups wanted $20,000. Now it's not 75. Now I raised it.
I'm only going to get $37.50 if we split that. That's not enough.
This is ridiculous. Why are we bothering raping if it's not a fucking legitimate business here?
Sub $4,000? We're going to have to do this every month?
No, I don't think so, man. When I rape, it's for the big bucks, is what he says. Wow. The woman telephoned authorities saying that the two men were outside her home and had left an extortion note on her car. They just pushed it and pushed it and pushed it, man.
Jesus, that's stalking, too.
Yeah, the prosecutor said the assault can be heard on the tape, as well as threats warning the woman that the videotape would be sent to her family and husband if she did not pay. This is insane.
Oh, my God.
This is the dumbest crime anyone's ever committed.
Truly.
Vicious, brutal, and dumb all at the same fucking time. So they said that Calloway and Billups have given the cops different stories about their relationship with the women. So they didn't even have their story straight.
Idiots.
Wow, they
thought they were going to get away with it.
They thought it was this. This was they'd done it before. They thought this is foolproof.
No, this will never be foiled.
Not only will they get away with the raping, but let's try to get money out of them too.
Yeah,
it's bad enough. Not bad enough that we've raped these people. Let's also try to rob them as well.
Extort them. Yes.
Wow, that's remarkable. So December 18th, 1982, the Orlando Sentinel, quote, more women say Billups raped them.
More women. Gross. God damn it.
How'd you like to have that as your headline? More women say Whisman raped them. Wouldn't that be a terrible headline for you?
Never say that again.
That sounded like I was.
God, I hate that.
That sounded like I was. Sounded like I was quoting like some sort of like. We did like a focus group. More women say Whisman raped them. That's not good, right? Terrible.
More women and more rape in this Whisman.
More raping. Quote
20% more.
20 now with 20% more rape. That's what it feels like.
God, I hate it so much.
Yeah, this guy deserves that though. But that is bold print, big headline, man, right in the Orlando Sentinel. So people just waking up in their Disneyland resort for the weekend are getting that paper. They're like, who's this? Oh, boy, some guy in the NFL's been raping the hell out of people.
The newspaper on the doorstep of my hotel.
Yeah, you open it and you go, shut up, kids. I want to read about this rapist.
USA Today, this time with more rape.
This time with more rape. Quote, at least a half dozen women came forward to accuse former pro football player Lewis Billups of drugging and raping them, Seminole County Sheriff's officials said. Billups and a friend were arrested and charged with sexual battery and extortion, and we know that story. But according to sheriff's investigators, they're talking about that. That's the next one. Oh, yeah. The Calloway guy, the librarian, told the woman as she left the house the next morning, by the way, this is the original woman here, this quote, I'm going to be your worst nightmare. This is after a rape. Like, I think you just did that, actually.
You showed up after post. I think you're still.
This
is
amazing.
This is the most nightmare I've ever seen.
This is It's fuck, man. So more women came forward Thursday after seeing news reports of the arrests. All reported similar encounters with Billups and Calloway, although the prosecution would not disclose the specific number of women or details of their complaints. No charges have been filed in those cases, but they're being investigated here. They do end up being able to post $50,000 bail each and get out, though.
Okay.
They're doing that. The investigators searched Billups' 6,352 square foot home.
He's got a 6,000 square foot house?
6,000 plus square foot house.
How do you afford that?
How
do you afford the taxes on that?
I think you have a rape extortion business is what you fucking build afterwards, because I don't know how you pay the mortgage on that if you're not getting $1 million, $950,000 a year from the NFL.
Right.
That's expensive. They said they turned up several pieces of evidence consistent with the crimes that he was arrested on. So,
gross.
Yeah, probably drugs and that sort of thing.
Videotapes.
Wow. By the way, this arrest was the second this month. On December 3rd, he was charged with driving under the influence of alcohol. And, that incident apparently started when Billups tried to take a woman home from a bar, and he was too drunk. So, wow. According to the arrest report, when he was arrested, he spat on and cursed. He spat on and cursed at a woman named Patty during an argument outside the Red Parrot Bar.
Why are you so mad at women, Lewis? What happened?
It's wild. Then he was arrested when he tried to leave the scene and as police were questioning him. He was shit-faced, got in a fight with a woman. The cop showed up and said, "What the fuck's going on?" He got mad, ran away from them, and got in his car drunk. They know he's drunk because they were just talking to him, and they just went and pulled him over and arrested him.
He's
what
so
a
mad at
fucking
women.
idiot. Yeah.
There's no evidence of why, but he fucking hates women.
Oh, my God. This woman said Billups became enraged when she refused to let him take a friend of hers to his house for a party. So he was saying, "You're cock blocking."
Found a girl I'm going to,
But she was smart because this one had a radar for this, I think, here. Patty said she had found the women in the bar's bathroom vomiting, sweating profusely, and moaning. He drugged them and then, didn't get him out of there in time before it kicked in.
Before it hit him, right.
She said something was very wrong with her, and I wasn't going to let her go home with him. Yep. Yeah. Billups had been buying the women drinks throughout the evening. Patty, this woman, said Billups' companion apologized and said, "We didn't mean to dose her. We didn't mean to drug your friend. Our bad.
We didn't mean to dose her this hard."
Yeah, and then he tried to drive away drunk in front of cops.
What?
Is he the dumbest criminal we've ever had? We usually play idiot or asshole. Yeah. He is both. He's an idiotic asshole.
Idiotic monster. Yeah.
Fuck. Another woman contacted Seminole Sheriff's investigators alleging Billups had attacked her during a tour of his house on October 31st. The woman, who did not press charges, told investigators Billups took off her clothes and raped her, then threw her clothes at her and told her to leave. He also grabbed her purse, rifled through it, and took $50 from her. I shit you not. That sounds made up. That's real.
Took 50. Didn't give her a 50. Took $50 off of her.
He fucking raped her, threw her shit at her, and then said, "Thanks for my money. Get the fuck out of my..."
Oh, my God.
Does he think the police don't exist? Like, how many... dude, it's not like he has...
Does he know that this is illegal?
That's what I mean. It's not like he focused in on one woman that he knew, and he's like, "I know she won't go to the cops because she's whatever," and had some psychological... He's just like, "I'll rape random people I just met, and I'm sure they won't go to the cops because I'm Lewis Billups. I wear sunglasses in the team picture, so I'm special."
I've got a cougar.
Wow. In March 1991, he bought his house. His house is 3290 Tala, T-A-L-A Loop, in the exclusive Alaqua subdivision off Markham Woods Road. It's assessed at $813,890 at the time.
There's no way he can afford that.
No. It has an elevator, 3 fireplaces, a whirlpool bath, a sauna, and a pool. Get the fuck out of here. He also... Exactly. He also owns a house at 9233 Bay Hill Road in Orlando, valued at $235,252. Public records show that Billups is having trouble paying debts and recently sold his 1985 Lamborghini.
He had
the mid-'80s Lambo. Yeah, he was. Here's my Lamborghini and my mansion because I'm very special.
Fuck?
But you're not a big star, though, is the problem.
You've only made $800,000. Like,
you're a second-round draft pick and not a Pro Bowler,
yeah.
You're a mediocre cornerback. This is not okay. On October 23rd, lawyers for American Express Centurion Bank filed a suit seeking an unpaid balance of $9,910.25 on his Optima card, plus interest, attorney fees, and court costs. The court file, which included a scribbled note written last month, said, quote, "I, Lewis Billups, cannot pay American Express Centurion Bank. The reason is that on or about the day of October 7th, 1992, I was fired from the Green Bay Packers." Which is a funny way to put it. Makes it sound like he showed up late too many times. Oh, my God.
I was fired from the Green Bay.
I was fired. "I am now in the process of trying to get on with another team. I have no other means of employment or cash flow, except for blackmailing women I rape. He left that part out. Weird. At this point in time, I have no money in the bank. I'm trying to sell my house and car to get some cash, but until that happens, I have no money. Thank you, and please understand. What?
Understand.
American Express does not understand.
They never understand.
No,
they're never
they do
going
not
to
understand. No, they'll come after you like you owe money to the fucking Gambino family. Are you kidding me? Fuck, man. They'll just take your firstborn's arm. We'll just take this right arm till you pay up.
Did he... James, is he raping to try to pay American Express?
I think that this is his fucking... He has some sort of rape pyramid scheme he's working on where... If I rape you and then you tell other people, 10 others about the rape, and then they pay me money for more rapes, then eventually I'll be making $5 million a year.
American Express.
Yeah, you get like 10 people in your rape downline, and then
all of a sudden, Centurion is funded.
Wow. So December 29th, 1992, they say video in Billups' car shows extortion attempt. Mm-hmm. Deputies found a extortion videotape in a car driven by Lewis Billups on the day he was arrested. God. The tape is found during a search of his Jaguar, and it supports the charges that Billups and a friend tried to extort $20,000 from a woman, obviously here. So they said the videotape shows a hooded man making extortion demands while a video plays on a large screen television next to him. He made a video like a terrorist video.
Is it like the terrorist would be speaking in front of a beheading? Is he talking in front of a rape?
Yes, in front of a rape video. This is the video that I'll send to your husband. Yeah.
He is
he's out of his
rape
mind.
ISIS.
He said, yeah, I'll make more, and also I'll make more evidence against me. How much more evidence?
What is
Rather
he doing?
than one copy of the tape, I'll make many and give them to people. He's a fucking idiot, this guy. So they said that the videotape was in his car. His lawyer, Gene Stevenson, wow, this guy
is about to quit.
He might be the silver-haired fucking middle-aged white man of the year award participant here on the Scummies next week. He said, quote, "We never said there wasn't a videotape. We'll just have..." What the hell does that mean? We never said there wasn't a video.
We never said there wasn't perfect amount of evidence. We never said that.
We'll just have to wait and see what the evidence shows. What all the evidence shows. Unfortunately,
there's a tape, man.
When there's a tape of a rape, really most other evidence is irrelevant at that point. The crime is on tape. There it is.
We need to see the evidence of the rape on the rape tape.
Wow. They said they recovered other items from his home, including 72 adult videotapes. He had 72 porns, which is quite a haul in the 90s when you had to have like video cassette VHS tapes.
When those had to show up to your house from Adam and Eve in a brown paper sack.
That's a lot. Yeah, they didn't even have a website. You had to go to the store. You had to go to some creepy store.
In a magazine.
That you, on the back of a video that you bought from a creepy store. Like you couldn't just...
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles...
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
Wow. And also a video camera as well they got. Okay. So December 31st, 1992, Billups says, this is the Cincinnati Post, New Year's Eve, Billups, women harassing me.
Okay.
What, the ones you raped or not? The other ones. He says
so many women. There's at least half a dozen. They're mad at me.
They're all raping me. Their husbands are pissed off. I got people's dads yelling at me. This is ridiculous. You rape and try to extort a few dozen women, and this is what you get. Trying to start a business here. Jesus. Wow.
Oh, boy.
He said that he complains that women have been making harassing phone calls to his house.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. One woman demanded $300, and another wanted to meet up with him for a good time. I don't know what is happening right now at this
Somebody
guy.
found out he fucks and she's into it?
Yo, this is the most bonkers fucking episode right now. This is crazy. I don't understand this crime still. I don't get what he was thinking during this.
I don't know. Very brazen is what he is. And I'm shocked that a chick with a rape fantasy called him.
Yeah, why not? He's just, people calling me. Some want to fuck me. Some hate me.
Hilarious.
It's fucking wild here. So he then, after this is amazing. January 18th, 1993, Lewis Billups now is charged with making telephone calls in which he threatened Washington Bullets guard Rex Chapman.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Didn't know how Rex Chapman was going to come into this, but somehow Rex Chapman's involved in this fucking case.
Why?
What are they talking about? The chief of the criminal division in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Lexington said the complaint alleges that Billups promised to end Chapman's career by fixing it so he'd never walk again.
Holy shit.
Did you rape him and he wouldn't pay you? What's happening? Rex, tell us what happened. What the fuck, man?
Spill it, Rex.
This is bonkers. This whole episode is a Mad Lib. It's all shit.
How did he get Rex involved?
If I said he's fucking in trouble for threatening people over the phone, how many guesses would it take to get to Rex Chapman at that point? Honestly.
I'd need clues.
Yeah, a lot of them before you get to that.
Right.
A lot of clues before you get there.
Wow.
Holy shit. So, I mean, like, what the fuck do you do?
I'd love to know why he was involved with Rex at all. He's not even an athlete at the moment.
I don't even. Yeah, they're not. They didn't play in the same city. None of it makes sense.
Sport.
That's what I mean. None of it mattered. Yeah, I could see if like it was some rivalry at the same time or what. No. He played for what? Charlotte when he first came up before he went to Washington.
Bullets and Charlotte, then the Bullets, and then. Fucking where else?
And then Phoenix after that.
Phoenix, yeah. Was that the? I don't know.
I thought he came.
He bounced all over the place.
He was everywhere. Yeah, that's crazy. He was in that dunk contest early on, Rex Chapman, because he could dunk. They were like,
and then he won
shit.
3-point shootouts. Or
yeah.
He had the record for the most in
Rex he had heart.
Yeah.
He had heart as a player. He was a good player. When he was on the Suns.
Yeah,
I liked him. He was a fucking good player on the Suns.
I served his kids at Peter Piper Pizza too.
Really?
For a guy not very big. He fucking, man, that guy really played his heart out.
He's 6'5".
Yeah, he's not, but he doesn't
look
look
that big.
No.
6'5" isn't huge.
Big.
He's not 6'9" or anything like that.
And he's slender too. He
wasn't
wasn't
big.
big.
It's an inch taller than me. It's not that. It's not like, oh God, holy shit, big.
And that guy was dunking hard.
Oh, fucking real hard.
Incredibly,
I mean, he was in a dunk contest. I think he made it past the first round, as a matter of fact. So
I think he almost won.
I don't know if he almost won, but he did pretty well.
He was good. Yeah,
he did
made a showing.
He did like one of the under the basket and pop up and dunk on the other side things, which was like a cool thing at the time. So Lewis has got problems now.
What
He's
the
got
fuck?
so
it's
many
really falling apart.
I was just gonna like chronicle everything he's done and kind of give an update, but I can't even put it all together. He's
so
raping people, he's extorting people, he's beating people up, he's driving drunk, he's threatening this one, he's calling Rex Chapman and trying to break his legs. I don't know what's going on. All of this while he's sitting in his 6,300 square foot house that he can't afford. He's losing his fucking mind. How many times has he been hit in the head? Like
too many.
Too many, yeah. So he's sitting there just fucking stewing. I think he's trying to figure out who he's going to call next. He's like, who else do I hate? Charles Barkley. Fuck that guy. Ken Griffey Jr. Suck my dick. Hey, Griffey. Yeah. Hey, Griffey. Fuck you, man. I see you out there playing center field talking bullshit.
Why don't you come over and have a drink?
Come over and have some drinks. I make a nice cocktail. I'm going to make you an old-fashioned you'll never forget. Well, you will forget. You'll forget everything, actually.
Bring Arnold Palmer. I'll make him one.
Bring Arnold Palmer. So there he is. He's sitting there when all of a sudden his paranoia is cut in half by a knock at the door. It's a knock at the door, and he opens it in a rage, obviously, furious, looking to rape, extort, or threaten anyone in his doorway until he sees that it's Vince McMahon. Whatever the fuck he is of WWE now, standing before him, and he says... How is it you've come to arrive here? Oh, my God, you're a dream. Let me tell you something. You've got it all, my friend. See, you have the ideas. People don't have ideas. I feel like you could... Who thinks to rape for money? No one's ever done that before. Do you understand? Do you get where I'm coming from? If I put some... You're only 5'10", but if we pump you up, get your upper body strength. Oh, baby, it's going to be good.
It's the oldest profession, James.
Oh, yeah. Let's tell you what. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you rape someone and we'll video it, okay? Because I know all the angles. And we'll get all the money for it. And poof, in a poof of 1099s and broken promises, he's gone. And Lewis is very excited. He thought he had a job again, and then it's dematerialized before his very eyes.
I can't believe this is real.
It's the whole thing is fucking nuts. So January 27th, 1993, he's indicted again.
How is this not? What was happening? This wasn't top fucking front page news.
This whole, because he wasn't in the league anymore.
Right, but it still should be ESPN Sports Center every day.
No, it's always like this little side story, like, this guy, but he's not, not that big of a guy at this point in time. He's indicted by a federal grand jury for making threats against Rex Chapman. So
Rex Chapman is the one that brought it down?
Yeah, the
Crimes
indictment
against a white man?
he twice called Chapman's sister Jenny to threaten Rex. He called his sister and said, I will fucking end your brother's career.
Why?
I don't know. This is insane. Wow. That is wild. So February 4th, 1993, the woman allegedly gang raped by the members of the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, a verdict upheld an agreement with the woman who claimed she was raped by Bengals players, was a relief to some. Basically, she wanted more money, and it was $30,000 settlements she made with the Bengals players, and now she can't sue for more money. She went to court to try to be able to sue for more money. Some Bengals players fear the taint will not go away. Listen to this. This is running back. The taint.
They had no idea.
Running back Eric Ball said, this is not vindication for us. No, it just says you don't have to pay more for your raping.
Right.
He said that he was one of the players accused of watching the alleged rape. He said, I'm disappointed folks were named that weren't involved at all. We've had to go through this entire ordeal. The damage has already been done. However, Icky Woods called it a victory.
What?
Icky. Okay, I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt. Now I think you're guilty.
Is this how he got that name?
He actually, outside the courthouse, he did the Icky Shuffle and said, quote, this is the victory shuffle. I feel real good. Now I can get on with my life.
Holy.
Are you out of your fucking mind? You had to pay a woman because... What the fuck are you talking about? Don't dance after you do that.
I only have to pay her $30,000.
Holy,
That's a victory today. What the fuck?
I am absolutely blown away by this entire fucking thing here. David Shula, the new head coach, said it's hard to get a handle on how much of an effect it had on our team in 1991, 1992, and into 93. Not only the players, but the organization. This puts it to rest and we can move on. Let's put my bad seasons behind us. The last two seasons, we've been terrible. I think it was from stuff that was here before I was even the guy. So
it was probably the rapes that I had no part of.
Oh, my God. So apparently she had consensual sex with one player and then she claims was gang raped at the team hotel. She accepted $30,000 from a group of players. This was negotiated by Icky Woods.
That's why it's a victory, because he's the one that was at the middle of it.
Later, she said she did not understand that she signed a waiver and meant that she wouldn't get any more money. Icky Woods said, we had an agreement and she didn't want to abide by her agreement. It's about a gang rape. What are you taking moral judgments because she didn't want to fucking agree to your business decision? What are you talking about?
She wants more money for therapy and stuff.
Like ridiculous that she wants to talk about it. Fuck that. He says he had no sexual contact with the woman, Icky. He said she tried to lie and manipulate to get more money. The jury saw through that and we're happy with the verdict. So, what is it? Eric Ball said he never met this woman even. He said, I sympathize with the lady, but I had nothing to do with it. I don't believe this is going to end it. Folks are going to believe what they want to believe.
So he watched?
That's the accusation here. Icky was a watcher, and so was this guy. This guy said, I never even fucking met her. I wasn't even there. So they seem to not deny that 12 guys were there. It's just a matter of the other
They're not denying that there was a rape.
That there was a giant thing going on here. So, March 17th, 1993, state to file sex charges against former athlete. Number one, state's going to file sex charges and former athlete. Both of those got to sting him real good. They plan to charge Lewis Billups and his roommate with drugging and raping a woman. So this is finally the full charges here. Sexual battery on an incapacitated person, extortion, conspiracy to commit extortion. Yikes. This is interesting. Now the Billups attorney, now a woman, he got a woman attorney for this one, Lori Wheeler, said she was shocked by the charges.
Really?
Yeah, not, what happened. She said, based on the information made available to me, I'm surprised they're bringing those charges. She then says,
tape.
She says the videotape, which the police confiscated, will prove he's innocent. That would have been a bad extortion piece then, probably.
Yeah.
So the videotape will show she was not under the influence of some mind-altering drug and that she was a willing participant and that she even initiated some of the sexual contact. This is what the attorney says. Also said that the charges, they said, the prosecutor said that we wouldn't file charges if we didn't think we could prove it. They said the sexual battery charge, usually a second-degree felony, has been upgraded to a first degree because the woman was incapacitated. And they said more charges may be filed against both these fucking guys. They said he also plans to have other women testify that they had similar experiences with Mr. Billups.
Yeah, that's fucked up. That's a ploy of I believe, of his lawyer to try to get the woman not to participate because
absolutely,
if this was aimed to upset her and her husband, saying she initiated some of the sexual contact will certainly cause a rift at that woman's house. That's fucked up.
That's what she's trying to do. And they have over a half dozen women, they said, are fine to testify. They said that among the evidence gathered were 2 bottles of an unidentified yellow liquid detectives believe was a drug put into the victim's drink. And the state crime lab technicians were unable to identify the liquid.
What?
He got some new shit. He got some new NFL shit. This is like super roofies.
Yeah.
We got super roofies and wow.
Unbelievable.
Also, investigators did match handwriting on an extortion note to samples provided by Calloway, the other defendant here. Holy shit. So March 23rd, 1993, here he's arrested for making interstate phone calls to threaten to injure Rex Chapman again here.
Rex Chapman, bringing him down.
Jesus Christ, man. He has to appear in federal court. They said March 18th from Orlando. He made calls to Jenny Chapman, Rex's sister, and threatened her brother and all of this. He said that Billups was, quote, going to fix it so Chapman would never walk again. And the telephone calls were tape recorded by the FBI, which had been alerted by Ms. Chapman that Billups, who played for the Bengals and Packers, was charged with sexual battery. I love when they run down his fucking thing here. Anyway, March 26, 1993, he is denied bail.
Oh.
The federal magistrate refused bail for him just for the Rex Chapman thing. That is fucking...
Did he play at Cincinnati or something?
I don't know. Where did Rex play?
Was he a Bearcat?
Was he a Bearcat? That would make sense, I guess. I could see him playing there.
I wonder if he played for Cincy. He may have been.
But still, what the fuck is happening?
Why are you so worried about Rex Chapman?
Fighting over a girl or something? I don't know what's going on here.
It's got to be.
So, April 2nd, federal grand jury indicts him. And maximum penalty here of 5 years in prison and a fine of $250,000 for the Rex Chapman incident here. Wow, the Chapman thing is the most serious actual prison time you can get for threatening a shooting guard rather than raping people. Holy shit. A lawsuit filed in Seattle against the Cincinnati Bengals seeking damages for the children of a woman who contends she was gang raped by the... So the woman, rather than suing herself, she found a way around it and used the kid to sue. The lawsuit contends the 4 children, whose ages range from 6 to 17, have been deprived of the love, care, companionship, society, and guidance of their mother. So that's how they're doing that. June 12th, 1993. Billups enters a plea of guilty to threats against Rex Chapman.
Unbelievable.
This is the most ridiculous thing in the world here. Holy shit here. He could be sentenced up to 5 years. They denied a request to release Billups so he could try to catch on with a professional football team during summer camps. They're like, we don't care about his football. This is crazy. What are you talking about? The U.S. attorney said they are still afraid of Mr. Billups and do not want him released. Rex and his sister here.
Wow.
He'll have a second charge against him dropped once he's sentenced here. Billups had a romantic relationship with Jimmie Chapman and twice called to warn her against seeing other people. Because of earlier threats, she had contacted the FBI, which started recording her calls, and now they got this call. Quote,
wow.
Now this is what he said on the tape. Now I'm telling you right now, as God is my witness, I swear on my mother's life, telling you right now, God is my witness, my mother's life, if you ever speak to a guy, just say hi to a guy from Kentucky. I promise you that my boys will go see your brother and he'll never play basketball again.
That's where he played. He played in Kentucky.
Kentucky, yes, that's exactly where. If you say hi to a guy from Kentucky, my friends will break your brother's legs.
What is that?
A crazy person is what that is. What a fucking lunatic. June 17th, 1993. He is a fucking disaster, man. Wow. He's got so many problems.
Why is he so mad at women?
He's so
fuck is the
possessive.
problem?
Think about that. That's fucking insane. It's just so fucking possessive, and I don't even know, man.
He's a problem.
His agent, Ed Sewell, said, quote, I'm sure you can question some of the things he's gotten into. That's an understatement.
What's the yellow liquid, man?
Yeah, how about that? Tell us that much. Football can be bigger than some life situations. On the football field, he was a hero, bigger than life. As he bumped heads with others, the real world challenged him, though, I would say. So, July 7th, 1993, here's from the Philadelphia Daily News. Billups' targets continue to live in fear for their life. That's nice.
Wow.
Their lives. Yeah, so he pleaded guilty to threatening Rex Chapman and all that, and Jenny said that, she's still, absolutely still afraid of him, and, Rex is also, she said. So,
really?
Yeah. That's fucking insane, man. So, man, I don't even know what's going on here. This guy is a fucking mess. And the assistant U.S. attorney said they're still scared of this guy. They don't want to say anything that will tick him off. Jenny wants it to get it behind her, and Tracy's scared the worst. Remember Tracy, the one with all the fucking surgeries he beat the shit out of? She's still scared of him, terrified, she says. So, what the fuck, man, is going on? The beginning of that, by the way, you promised me you'd never talk to a guy from Kentucky again or speak to a guy. Now I'm telling you right now, blah, 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 if you say hi to a guy from Kentucky. I promise you John, Marcus, and Too Short will go see your brother, and he'll never play basketball again.
He's involved with street thugs now.
John, Marcus, and Too Short.
Too Short.
I don't think the rapper Too Short, probably. I wouldn't think.
I don't think it's Todd Shaw.
I doubt it. So Too Short's going to go see your brother. An hour later, he called again, and the first time he was in a Florida phone booth. Now he called from his home, and it was 18th, and Rex Chapman it was March 18th, and Rex Chapman was going to be in Orlando with the Washington Bullets on April 20th. So the threat was repeated. He kept saying that my brother's knees were in my hands.
He's in the NBA now. Your brother's playing in the NBA, and I'm going to take his knees from him.
I'm going to take his knees and his livelihood. July 15th, 1993, the headline is Chapman shrugs off Billups' threats. So he has to act tough. He can't act like he's afraid of some 5'10" fucking guy. He said, he said it was weird. That's one thing. It's very weird and strange. And, well,
I
shit
played
like that.
basketball with Calbert Cheney. I'm not afraid of him.
Yeah. Yeah, I know Calbert Cheney. I know Gilbert Arenas. I've met the man. So.
I know guys that know straight gangsters. I'm not afraid
Jesus.
of an ex-NFL player.
He said, this is Rex Chapman. I'm good friends with Boomer, meaning Esiason. And Boomer told me the kind of guy Billups is. He's crazy, but I don't think he's that crazy. I think he's that crazy.
I think he'd rape you and videotape it, Rex.
And then
I
try
really
to extort
do.
you with it.
Yeah.
And then call somebody else up. Call Akeem Olajuwon and say, if you don't. He said when she broke things off with him, he didn't want to leave her alone, is what Rex said. And he was like, fuck him, basically. Wow. September 4th, 1993, he is sentenced here. He is going to be sentenced, you, sir, may fuck off 12 months in prison and a $10,000 fine for threatening Rex Chapman. He's got to do his time in a minimum security prison here because he's already done time in jail. So there we go.
You got time?
Time.
First, wow.
Federal. Federal. So October 23rd, 1993, he receives probation here. He pleads no contest to criminal conspiracy charges. This is in the fucking drug rape extortion thing.
What the fuck?
That is fucking wild, man. He was charged with all sorts of shit, but under the plea deal, he pleaded to the conspiracy charge and will serve 3 years of probation.
We got to take rape more seriously.
This is wild.
That's
luckily this was 30 years ago, so it is different now.
That's unbelievable.
He said that his lawyer said because he believes it's in his best interest, not an admission of guilt. I wouldn't let the guy plead guilty then. Like, all right, well then fuck you then. Go to trial. You know, he also pleads guilty to one count of reckless driving stemming from his drunk driving incident there. And he made no comment after they asked him if he had any comment. He said no. Wow. After the hearing, his lawyer, I believe, said the victim's story was shaky. Statements she made to law enforcement and in depositions could not be corroborated. They said Billups accepted the plea offer to get on with his life. She said there was no rape. The videotape shows there was no rape. If anyone was raped, it was Lewis Billups.
What?
This motherfucking guy. Well, you couldn't have a guy lawyer say that. That's why he had to go get a woman lawyer. You can never have that looks terrible. If it's some dipshit with a mustache saying it, twice as bad.
If anyone was raped.
Wow. So March 10th, 1994, a federal appeals court upholds his sentence for making threats against Rex Chapman. He was trying to get his sentence lowered. And, so April 3rd, 1994, released from prison. Wow. Gets out. Okay. So April 6th, 1994, the federal appeals court upholds a $10,000 fine against him for which was also part of his sentence. He was fucking trying to get that thrown out. Now, April 9th, 1994. Keep this in mind. April 3rd gets out of prison. April 6th loses an appeal. April 9th, 1994. Okay, he's in Orlando, Florida. All right. He is driving westbound at excessive speeds on Interstate 4 in Orlando when he tries to avoid another vehicle that it was changing lanes. He's got a passenger as well named Danny Green. Billups loses control of the vehicle. His car does a clockwise spin, hitting a road sign and a guardrail later on, and it tumbles over. So Danny Green, his passenger, is pronounced dead at the scene.
Oh, Jesus.
He was driving 100 miles an hour, by the way. He had just lost his home, by the way. He lost his home before he went to prison. They finally took that away from him. This is 1 o'clock in the morning, 100 miles an hour.
Is Danny a male or a female?
A man. It's a male, 30 years old, from Kissimmee. He's driving an 87 Corvette convertible. It's his old car. He crashed and he tried to avoid the other car, like we said, hit a guardrail about 50 feet from the metal guardrail, cut into the passenger compartment and passed through the passenger window.
Holy
50 feet of the metal guardrail came through the car.
Oh, shit. All the way through Danny.
Through Danny. Yes, which is crazy. Danny dies on the scene, obviously, here. But let's see here. They get Billups, I believe, here. They get him to the hospital where he dies also.
What?
Dead. 100 miles an hour. Fucking crunched his Corvette. Dead.
Zip. Wow.
Dead. That quick. Boom. All of that. All of that craziness that fucking fast.
Ended in a wow, the noise must have been horrific.
That is fucking crazy. The assistant state attorney, Stuart Stone, who prosecuted him in one of the cases, said he was not surprised when he learned about the accident.
Yeah.
He said he had that fast and loose lifestyle. I guess he tried to catch up with lost time and tried to catch up too fast. That's fucking deep. I'm certainly not happy. He doesn't deserve that, but I'm not surprised. Holy shit. So I guess he doesn't.
I mean, if he raped all of those women, what he deserves is to have been in that passenger seat and to be unzipped by 54 feet of guardrail.
Yeah.
You can't say he didn't deserve it. If all of that is true, he deserves every second of it.
He deserves it all. Jesus Christ, man. Wow. Bengals general manager Mike Brown said, Lewis was a fine player. There's no question about that. Sometimes in his private life, things didn't go quite as well for him. That's one way to put it. Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Holy shit, is that silver? Things didn't go quite as well for him. A dozen rape charges and threatening Rex Chapman.
O.J. Simpson was a fine running back. Decent actor. Sometimes he had a contentious relationship with his wife.
It's funny you say decent actor. I just think of the Zucker brothers, the Airplane guys. The guys who wrote and directed Airplane and Naked Gun. This line, if you haven't heard it before, is the best line ever. He said, OJ's acting is a lot like his murdering. He gets away with it, but you don't really believe him. It's the greatest, quickest joke I've ever heard about OJ.
Much like his murdering.
Much like his murdering.
He gets away with it,
but you don't really believe him. Wow, he said, yet the people on the team who knew him also appreciated him as a friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Cornerback Rod Jones, he said, he tells the Cincinnati Enquirer, we got along fine. I knew he had problems off the field, but he never had any problems with other players. Okay.
Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, he had problems with another basketball player.
Yeah, I would say so. Here is a weird editorial from a woman named Kimberly in Orlando.
Yeah.
Okay. I met Lewis Billups, the former NFL defensive back who died Saturday in an automobile crash 2 years ago through my work. He was purchasing furniture from my store. Lewis and I spent time together then, and I knew the kind of lifestyle he was living. We dated for a while. Although we eventually went our separate ways, we stayed in touch. At that time in Lewis's life, he may very well have been considered to be living in the fast lane. Yeah, 100 in the fucking on the I-4. Probably the same as others in his magnitude of life, but certainly not more. He was having a good time, or so he thought. He never intentionally hurt anyone. Come on. The Lewis Billups I knew from day one was very loving and considerate of others. His family meant more to him than anything in this world, except raping. Yeah. Some of the things that happened to him may have been because of something he did, but some were not. He went to prison for one of those things. What? Whatever the did someone else call and say that?
Boy.
Whatever the reason was, he spent time away from his family and friends. During that time, he realized he had made some mistakes and associated with the wrong people, but he had changed and he wanted everyone to know. He was good now.
Yeah. He's not going to rape anymore, he promised.
No, he was a new person. Within days of his return in January, he phoned me. From that day until the day he lost his life, or the day his life was taken on April 9th, we spent most of our time together. I asked him, out of all the people you could have called, why me? His response was, Kim, you represent a completely different life from where I came from 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I offered you a highly socialized life, parties, dancing, nightclubs. You walked away from that. Now you're here, and you've been there for me after all this has happened, to see the person I really am inside and not what I can give you materialistically, which, by the way, ain't shit because I don't have a fucking job.
And you know that because at your job at Levitt's where I got declined for a credit card for a couch.
Where I couldn't get a store credit card. for not even a high-end couch.
Yeah.
He said, I am really inside, not materialistically. The life I lived was not the life I was raised with or what I wanted out of life. So you see, she says, I knew Lewis had changed. I knew he had changed. I knew him then, and I know there was a new Lewis Billups. I only wish the rest of the world could have known him on his second chance, because everyone deserves a second chance, and his had only just begun. He was out of prison for 6 days, and he was already driving 100 miles an hour at fucking 1 o'clock in the morning.
And am I to believe he was likely very sober?
Oh, like as a fucking nun. So, holy shit, he is buried here at the Gotha, Orange County, Florida. Woodlawn Memorial Park in Gotha, Orange County, Florida. If you want to go take a look at him, he's got a little football guy on his.
Really?
Yeah, check it out. I'll show you the thing here.
What is this? A little football guy. What the fuck
Like
is that?
Little doughy, bad representation of a football guy. A couple of
What's the
football
other
and a
side?
helmet there.
Okay,
Football and a helmet. And then it says under it, solo.
Oh.
Lewis K. Billups, solo. I don't know if he wasn't married and didn't have kids or whatever the fuck.
Buried alone?
Buried alone.
Solo. Wow.
Man. So, by the way, since there was so much going on, it was hot and heavy. I mean, honestly, he's all dead and everything. I guess you could kind of feel bad for him, but not nearly as bad.
Holy.
As you could feel for these people. Lewis Billups, student at South Dakota State University.
Keep it clean,
Keep it clean. He's in Trenton, New Jersey, and there's that guy, and then a Reverend Lewis Billups from a newspaper in 1949 that died that we found here. So there's him and him.
Still feel bad for him. This guy besmirching his name after he's dead.
Yeah, it's still disparaging. It just came up. And if you can't get enough of Lewis Billups here, you can get a 1991 Topps Lewis Billups card here.
He's probably taped above his locker, for Christ's sake.
I'm sure, 99 cents for that one. A Lewis Billups 9-card lot for $1.49.
Those are all of them that were above the locker.
For all of them. And then finally, from memorabilia.expert, a 1980s Lewis Billups game-worn Bengals jersey.
What?
$182. We might
Not
need
bad.
That. If I could find that again, we might need that for the
that is
studio.
awesome.
Because we got L.A. Mike's jersey. I got that. I got a signed L.A. Mike Richardson jersey. It was $60. I went to order the $100 one we had, and there was one for $60 that was the exact same one. I was like, great, done.
Signed,
and deal and delivered and done. So
by a murderer.
By a murderer.
Unbelievable.
Allegedly. There you go, everybody. That is Lewis Billups, and quite the fucking tale. Let's be honest here. That was a lot. That is a classic crime and sports episode, I would say, right there. Just
he put a guardrail through his friend.
Yeah, through his friend. 50 yards of it, or 50 feet of it.
Good God.
There was not a lot of sports there at all, and a whole lot of fuckery. So, my God. Man. It's a terrible man, it seems like. If you enjoyed that episode, tell everyone about it. Please get people to listen to the show. It helps a lot. Post on social media. Tell your friends. Also, review the episode, too. Review the series here. 5 stars would help a lot. Tell everybody all about it. Say something fun. Don't care. Say what your least favorite football position is.
Say whatever,
I hate offensive guards. I don't care. So do that. Definitely keep hanging out with us and doing that. You want to follow us on social media at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Check all of that out. You certainly want to listen to our other 2 shows, Small Town Murder and Your Stupid Opinions, which is fucking hilarious also. So check all of that out. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. Oh, baby. All the bonus material. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get a whole back catalog. Couple hundred episodes to binge on. New ones every other week, except for this week because it's Christmas, so we're only doing one. We're going to talk about The Garden, a weird documentary about a commune that is a mix of hippies and militia survivalists. It's fucking weird and very strange, and maybe is a cult. We'll talk all about that. It's all, I think it's like a 7-part series on HBO at this point on Max. So check that out. That's patreon.com/Crime and Sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the show, which is coming up. You bet. Also, shutupandgivememurder.com. Tickets for everything. Tickets for 2024 Small Town Murder shows. They're all announced. There's only 12 of them, and they're going fucking fast.
So
if you want
quick.
tickets, get in there and get them. Everybody realized, oh, shit, there's only 12. So
they're going to go fast.
They're going to go fast. So definitely do that. Keep hanging out with us there. And I would like to hear, Jimmie, the names of the most wonderful goddamn people in the world who keep this show afloat, who keep our heads above water, floating in water and all of that, and who would never, ever, ever, ever rape us and then extort us about it. Please, Jimmie, hit me with the names of these wonderful people.
This week's executive producer are Jens Christian Kraus. Jens? What is Jens? What is it? Is that Jens? Is it Jens?
Jens?
Could be Jens. Could be Jens Christian.
We've come across with it. Jens Christian Anderson.
Did you know that Mike Kekich loves us?
Really?
Did you know that?
Awesome. Love Mike Kekich. Killer. Fucking rock on. Hello, Mike Kekich. We love you back.
Jay Spiegel, JC maybe? I don't know. This person knows Mike Kekich, and
tell him we're fans.
Said Mike is a big fan.
That's amazing. We love him, so that's great. I love it. I love when people we like us. That's great. Makes me so happy.
Other executive producers are Allison Heimer, Wolfie, and Buffles. Buffles is very proud of you, Wolfie. That's what I'm told. Also,
well, good for you, Wolfie.
Ni Nguyen Manacone, I think, and her husband, Thepelak. Those don't sound like real words.
I don't think you may. Yeah, I think you pronounced those wrong, maybe.
I'm sure I destroyed those, but those are people. Those are the roundabout letters and the sounds they make.
Those are some people.
Other producers this week are Liz Vasquez, Peyton Meadows, Eva Dodson, Julie the Cockatoo, and Andrea Darnell, Janice Hill, Rabbi Shmulevich, Daniel Simpson Day. Daniel Simpson Day. He's still missing. I don't know what that means.
Oh, wow.
Who is that?
Is his day like Arbor Day?
I don't know. Maybe
Daniel Simpson Day?
He might have two last names, like Sandra Day O'Connor. I don't know.
For some reason, I don't know why.
I don't know.
Completely misunderstood that and thought we were talking about that day.
You may be right. I may be wrong.
I doubt it. I think you got this one. I think this one's, you're right.
Rachel Futch Parker, Paul, is that right? Futch Parker? Or are they trying to do No, all right. Paul Lauk Jr., I'm staying away from it. Jessica Kim, B. Dallas, Craig Davies, Jackie Rishgel, Patrick Sturm. Yep, Lindsay Shevlin, Kayla DeCourcy, Natalie Cologne, a dumb kid in Delaware, Crystal Hope, Heather Chambly maybe, Melissa II, Tristan Maxwell, Jane Henry, no, that's Jane Cherry, what? Vicky Dickerson, Miles McCann, Grant Stouter, Tess with no last name, Katie Lobb, Allie McLeod, Amy Jones, Jason Bird, Michelle Mead, August Furman, Candy Barr, that's not real, Terry Hudspeth, Solomon Ballum Reed, Heidi Stillwell, I'm right behind you, Stillwell, Justine Hughes, Logan Kane, Stillwell Angel, that's another one in the movie. Logan Kane, Trisha Potter, Travis Gobble, Kyra Richter, Lily Morgan, Angela Hilton, Ivana Abrantes.
Yeah, that's probably exactly right.
Abrahantes.
Abrahantes. Hey.
Olivia with no last name. Jasad with no last name. Scott E. Beck-Sari. Clifton with no last name. Callie Mozart. Helen Lepirus. Max Power. Megan Obergoss. Max Power. Who is that?
Homer Simpson thing.
There it is.
Max Power.
All right. Gemma Grace Hold'em. Boston Smith. Jillian Marzajanik. Mars Janik, Layla Washington, Jared Rafferty, Amanda Ives, Rachel Fowler, Ruthie with no last name, Courtney McPherson, Zach Fisher, Vivian Strong, Erica with no last name, Circus Hood, Ashley Mustafa, Daniel Johnston, Kylie Jackson Reeve, Elliot Russell, She Sells Seashells, B. Carmian, Melissa Tremont, Bex Miles, Tabby with no last name, Clarice Enyart, Amy Villa maybe, Emily Kostick, Steve Kakamisi, Peyote with no last name, Sabri Woodbury, Loki the Chosen One, Robert Starlowski, Amanda with no last name, Jessica McCown, Chris Ballantyne, Cassandra Nordwald, Pete with no last name, Rachel Koenig, Dustin Ferre, Mega Whimsicott, June Wallace, Dave with no last name, Glenda Piper, Amanda Boland, Jennifer and Jessica Wilson, Kristen Elmore, Jasmine with no last name, Cal Scalabrini, Anna Jory, Cedar Awanyo, Akaba. What is that? Sador, maybe? I don't know. Joshua Hutchinson, Kendall Hansen, Jessica with no last name, R. Lyon Berg, Annie Moore, Michelle Stewart, Irma with no last name, Victoria Haas, Crystal Harpe, Antonio Clifton, Tim Marks, Mariah Heap, Elizabeth Blackburn, Krista with no last name, Andrea Harbin Monahan, Crystal Burrow, Brewer, Kathy Peliconio. Felicioni.
He tried to roll with
Cora Routledge, Michelle Sayre, Lexicon with no last name, Hannah with no last name, Graham Baggs, Alan Fulmer, Amy Finazzo, Jonah Shepard, Nick with no last name, Brad Kingsley, Melissa's a deadhead, Dennis Brody, Emily Turner, Ants Div, Marcos Gennaro, Copperhead, Hayden Wright, Michael Bjorkland, Christopher Jennings, Cherry Shepa, Sheva Pravadama wrong.
Yes. That's the name of a
guy,
Seth
right?
MacFarlane producer. Yeah. She's a very, very important producer who I'm sure has never heard of us.
There's no way that person listens to us.
But I like that they tried to put the name in for you.
We're going to discuss this later. Steve Trotsky, Laura Rebecca, Emma Salisbury, Ann Tindeland Instabo, Elizabeth Whittington, Janie with no last name, Gypsy Princess, Melissa Trammell, Star with no last name, Sarah Swanson, Jan Fuss, Brock Collette, Brandon with no last name, Margaret Grashishi, Alan Kelsey, Jenny Stringer, Liz with no last name, Catherine Taburn, Reed Erickson, Shannon Rodriguez, Ian Stark, Nancy Schock, RMG, Trina with no last name, Rose Sharpton, Cassie Clark, Rhonda Douglas, Carrie Ryan, Kayali Kalalani, that's not right, Douglas Schooler, Bree Lewis, Wade Johnston, Aaron Hudson, Leslie Schumer, Doug Shipley, Rose Nyland is my spirit animal, Derek Stocks, Christina Hines, David Buford, Bethany Hamilton.
I like Beefer.
Is Bethany Hamilton the name of the girl that lost her arm? I think it is.
Is it?
To a shark attack? I think
it might be. I think maybe you're right. You might be right.
Why did that just occur to me? But I don't know.
I don't know, but I think you're right.
All right. Simbri, Karasina, Trey Brett, Matthew Buckhop, Melissa Cup, Nathaniel Jones, Sydney Bubser, Mike Sleeper, Rayanne Lowen, Dylan Marrer, Sarah Ann, Alexis with no last name, Chris Bland, Cody Blevins, hey, Cody Peyton Chandler, and all of our patrons. You guys, you have no fucking idea how important and much this means to us. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, you wonderful, fantastic, crazy sons of bitches. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you so much. Next week, what we're going to do here is we're going to do a Scummies, like we said. So there'll be a Scummies there. So do that. Wait for that. And then in the new year, of course, more Crime and Sports.
Yeah.
We are not stopping. We're not slowing down. We're keeping right up with it. Listen to that and all the shows. Follow us on social media. ShutUpAndGiveMeMurder.com. Drop down menu. All those links. And I promise to not be sick next time you fucking hear from me.
Can't wait.
This is horrible. And it's actually, as shitty as it sounds, it's getting better. So
sincerely.
Telling you, thank you for all that you've done for us all year, and have Merry Christmas, everybody.
Truly.
We really
Merry
do
Christmas.
appreciate you. Enjoy. Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.